Hello, everybody! It is a beautiful Sunday, April 5th, 2026, and you're listening to the Super Gamecast. I am Bronson Fiore, joined by the mod mommy, Emily Huslander,
Oh, it's good to be back.
and our very own Duncan Crabtree.
Hi guys.
How you doing? How's everybody been? We know how we've been. We talked about it in pre-show. We all been bad, but we're here. We're here to make you
Everybody's
feel
been
better.
bad.
I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. Like,
That's fair. It's been a minute.
it's been far too long. I'm happy to be back.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
The work schedule decided to assassinate her off the show for about 4 or 5 months.
Oh, no,
So.
it was longer than that.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. Because we were doing
It's been
duo.
7.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh fucking hell.
Yep.
God, man, time flies.
Work decided to be a bitch.
Yeah, I got you.
But the gods have blessed me with coming back to the show.
Fair.
So,
Nice.
blessed
Incredible.
be to those.
Well, that's good because you can get depressed like we always get depressed. It's a good time.
Yeah,
I'm ready to get
inevitably
depressed. I'm
always
ready to shit talk. Let's go.
it inevitably always devolves into doomering about capitalism.
Capitalism at its finest, right?
Yeah.
We are a whopping 3 minutes in, 2 minutes in, and I already have a title. Oh,
Yeah.
I say that's a record, isn't it?
pretty close.
Is it?
That's
Pretty
very close, yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah, that's doomering about capitalism. I don't know, man. Every now and then we get good. Every now and then we get good news stories, and it's like warm and fuzzy moment.
You know what I have heard? The worst news story that we don't even have on this list.
Right.
The worst news story is that people on Twitter who want Peach and Rosalina to be gay together have been assassinated. They've been assassinated by the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh no! Don't
Oh,
spoil.
twist.
My
Yeah.
girlfriend was super jet lagged, and my back was all messed up yesterday. So no.
Apparently, it's not a spoiler. It's just a basic fact in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And everybody's really mad about it.
What? That Peach and Rosalina aren't gay?
That they're sisters.
Oh.
They've reclassified them from two unrelated people to sisters, and I think same with Daisy.
Okay.
That actually kind of tracks with Daisy.
Yeah, I always
if you really
assumed
think about
to be a cousin. But you know now people can't make Peach and Rosalina gay together, even though they had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted before, and now they can't, and they're really mad about it.
Okay.
Or we can treat Mario like a multiverse. Every iteration is a different version.
They've already
We could have that fanfic of Peach and Rosalina being this super adorable lesbian couple.
They've already.
Yeah, but then you're gonna get the ones that are siblings, and they're like, oh, let's look at a multiverse portal, and they see themselves making out, and they're like, that's weird. That's weird.
Okay, so so they have already said that the movie universe is different from the mainline universe. So yeah, you probably could multiverse lesbian Rosalina and Peach.
Yeah.
Or I don't know,
Which is
dude.
apparently a much more popular
Mario
pairing
multiverse. There you go.
than I initially knew. I didn't really know this was a thing until people started getting mad.
No, yeah, I both love and hate the internet because the amount of subcultures that it filters into my brain. Like it's every week I seemingly get beamed into some new subculture where I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. So, to be fair, this is one of the tamer ones. Sure, you want your cartoon princesses to be lesbians. All right, do you think?
Right.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, so,
Just do
all
it.
right. Well, speaking of Nintendo news, we got a lot of it to open up. This one's kind of good-ish news.
And it's directly related to the fake story I came up with. I mean, fake as in it's not literally a news story, but it is happening.
Yeah.
And that's that Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time Switch 2 remake is reportedly coming this Christmas, and there's a new Star Fox this summer.
And a new 3D Mario next year.
Yeah. The reason that's partially related is because some of the Star Fox reveal is apparently related to the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which I've yet to see, so I've not spoiled myself on exactly why that's the case. But there is apparently a confirmation in that movie of Star Fox.
Oh, they blew that away in the marketing. They put that in the marketing.
Oh,
yeah, it was. It pissed me off real good because I was like, that would have been really cool to get like thrown into the movie.
So. Or like have a post-credit scene involving Star Fox or whatever.
Well, I from my understanding, he is in the movie. Like he's not just like a fucking credit tease. Like he's a character. So.
It makes sense to me that part of this story is a sort of, I mean, this all is a leak, right, from Nate Hate.
Nate the Hate. Who the reason why this is prominent is like this guy last year leaked the Switch's release date and console details, and it is backed up by VGC, who is like incredibly credible, like on the money every time credible. So yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So he mentions here that there's going to be no 3D Mario project releasing until 2027 at the very least. And that makes sense to me, considering, you know, the story we recently covered about the origins of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah.
It's, you know, clearly, I mean, it was clearly kind of like an idea for a Mario title at first, that they then pretty early into development turned into a Donkey Kong game, and it probably took the team that they would normally dedicate to the next 3D Mario game, and instead they decided to make Donkey Kong, which makes sense to me. I mean, he was definitely very due for a game.
Yeah, you know, and, it only had been like 11 years.
And just the vibe, you kind of get like the vibe is kind of like a Mario game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the characters look like Mario, the characters that would be in Mario, which to be fair, they are the same universe. But yeah, like it's definitely like you have characters that look like Mario characters outside of a couple of the select ones, and like yeah, no, absolutely. I am so curious to see what out of the news here though, like okay, a new Star Fox, like I'm just picturing like okay, you make Star Fox 64 but like way prettier, maybe bigger. New 3D Mario, that could be anything. Mario adapts over time. There was a fucking kaiju cat Mario like 4 years ago. Sure. What the fuck is an Ocarina of Time remake gonna be? Holy shit.
I could see it being a continuation of their general project to move like major important titles off of the 3DS. Because they don't want people using that anymore. And the fact of the matter is that the best way right now to play Ocarina of Time is on the 3DS. And that's kind of bad for accessibility to...
Do you think it's just going to be a fucking straight port, though? Like, just a 3DS port? Like an up-res 3DS port?
No, I think it might be another remake.
Like a ground-up remake? Okay.
I think that it'll probably be another one-to-one faithful remake like the 3DS port.
Damn. Because, like, I was just like, man, I would love to see, like, a Twilight Princess level of, you know, like, scope, but for Ocarina of Time's dungeons and story. Like,
the thing is that I believe that Ocarina of Time has, like, an iconic look to it.
It does, very much so.
The 3DS, it didn't 100% maintain, but they did a good job of giving the same feeling as the original N64 visual.
I think that you can't do that N64 look without just making the N64 game is the thing. A lot of that fucking nightmarish look was because of technical limitations.
Yeah, and I think that they don't want... I think that they want a revitalization of Zelda, which specifically in its original form, kind of. You know, in 3D Zelda form and Ocarina of Time's obviously you know,
it's the origin of that.
And I think that because they've been in Breath of the Wild land for over a decade now.
No, it's been 9 years.
Almost a decade now.
Yeah, 9 years. It came out in March of 2017. So
yeah, so for almost a decade, they haven't had a traditional 3D Zelda game. The last one would be Skyward Sword.
Yeah, which would have been 14 years ago.
So. And oft considered the worst example they've ever created.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Hey now.
I don't think Skyward.
I'm telling you the truth. People think it's bad.
Okay, well they're wrong. They're fucking wrong.
Thank you.
I will.
Thank you.
The reason why Skyward Sword got panned is not because like the dungeons in those games are fucking immaculate. You could argue they're some of the best in the series. The reason that shit got panned is people were just tired of the formula at that point. Because you have to remember, you were, you know, as much as I love Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword and Wind Waker and Majora's Mask, they're all just basically extensions of Ocarina of Time. Which, one, that should tell you how fucking amazing Ocarina of Time is. Because the fact that they were able to make and expand on it for fucking 14 years, holy crap. And it is an amazing game. If you play that game today, other than the visuals, it totally holds up and is a spectacular experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say that thing hits hard.
But I remember even as like a big Zelda fan and a big fan of 3D Zelda, getting through Skyward Sword and being like, I am very, very tired of this fucking format. I'm tired.
I'll say, as someone who played Skyward Sword as his second 3D Zelda game.
What was your first?
Twilight Princess.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Skyward Sword to me was not... Its problem had nothing to do with being a tired version of the formula. It was in the motion controls. They've since released the game without the motion controls, which by many accounts has made the game much better.
You are correct. I played that version. I own it. You are correct.
However, the DNA of the motion controls exists in all of the enemies. There are a lot of fights that come down to press the direction that is glowing.
Yes. But like that means it is a byproduct of its time. Because one of the big selling points, I remember one of the first things people went to at the Wii is, holy shit, you can do a Zelda game where you swing the sword and have to actually do sword play. And
that's what made me purchase Twilight Princess.
Yes, that's what got most people to try Twilight Princess, but then you found out the attacking is just...
And that's exactly what I did. But I was 7. So
yes, I was 16. Yeah, I was 16 when I played that game. So yeah, and exactly, you just like you would do the full sword swings at first, but then you'd figure out as playing, just jerk the Wiimote off. You know what I did with
Twilight Princess? I had a school reading assignment where I had to read a chapter of a book every day and then write a synopsis of it. And I was able to argue to my parents that Twilight Princess has enough reading in it, that should be considered my reading assignment. And they were like, sure, whatever, we don't care.
Hold on, I want to look something up with Twilight Princess here real quick. Because I do remember Twilight Princess, it's really funny that you say that, because one of the big arguments against Twilight Princess at the time is that it did not have voice acting. That was one of the that was one of the big, like, dear fucking God, this shit's feeling so old. Like, I remember, Twilight Princess was the real turn for Zelda. Like, that format of Zelda at the time, because everybody in the forums were being like, holy shit, this feels so fucking old. This feels so unbelievably old at this point. And then it did not help that a arguably far better Zelda game in Okami came out the month prior.
Yeah.
So it was like,
its reception.
Yeah, like, so Twilight Princess, I love that game. I've played through that game twice. I did 200% runs back when it came out. I fully recommend playing Twilight Princess, but it was very much the turning point of when 3D Zelda like god damn, this really is just the same shit. Especially because outside of the Wolf Dog stuff, it really is just a different flavor of Ocarina.
It's crazy how 100%ing that game is so overkill. Like, you don't need to do it even a little bit.
No, not at all.
You go into the final fight with that rupee armor, and you just stand there and get hit by Ganondorf, and you don't care. And then you kill him with your fishing rod. But there's some other leaks in this story. There is a debut of a Splatoon Adventure spin-off, Splatoon Raiders.
Oh, they did a teaser for that last year. It's just that we don't know when the fuck it's coming out.
And he's saying this year.
Okay.
Rhythm Heaven Groove.
That's out this year.
And Fire Emblem Fortune Weave.
Can we talk about how this is just like an insane year for Nintendo? So you got, like, okay, Mario Tennis was kind of like disappointing. Like it was like fine. It was a decent game, but like Pocopia, mega hit, great game.
Yeah.
You're getting a goddamn Ocarina of Time remake, which that's just like, hey, we're remaking one of the top 5 video games of all time. Like
it looks like it's gonna be kind of tying into the live action Zelda coming out next year.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to think about that movie. I don't.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying.
But you're getting a new Star Fox, a new Fire Emblem, a Splatoon spinoff. You're getting Tamagotchi Life in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're getting a new.
Friends are talking about that.
You're getting a new fucking Rhythm Heaven. And a new Fire Emblem. Like this is a crazy as shit a year for them.
Yeah.
And they've got Mario Wonder meet at Bellabelle Park for Switch 2.
Yeah, so I picked that up, and I think that if you do not have friends to play that with, the single player content feels like kind of a bummer. They add some new bosses, and they're fun. Like, they're good bosses. They're well done. And then it looks better, but the game already looked amazing, so it's like, it's a little sharper. So it's like, that's kind of it. That's kind of what they add to it. It's not a big update. It's not like when you played Breath of the Wild last year, and you're like, oh my god, 4K, 60 FPS Breath of the Wild is fucking incredible. So yeah, this is a crazy year for them. Which
the Pokemon theme park also opened.
Yeah, that's right.
In February.
Yeah, and then they also
which has apparently been wildly successful.
You don't say. You don't say.
An understatement, my dude.
Yeah, like that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I do think, God, they also have something else going on this year too. Obviously the Mario movie is going to be huge. It's already like blowing the doors off of the last one in terms of,
which is crazy given that it was horribly reviewed.
Yeah.
Well, that happened with the first one. Like the first one, the critics bombed it, and then the fans gave it like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, like, this time it got a 40 from the critics, and got a 90 from the fans.
Yeah, like it's.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. Hold on.
It's one of those things where just like it's not. It's just. I think there are some movies that critics are never gonna enjoy. And in all fairness, I think that a Mario movie. The first one from the thing I hear about this one, and once again I have not seen it. Please don't spoil anything. Is it's just like very heavy.
Either.
It very much apparently feels like a TikTok movie. is what I've heard. It very much is just like
I
mild.
heard a similar criticism of the prior movie, though. You know, there's moments that's like clearly meant for people to clip and share on social media.
Yes. So I'm not necessarily like I like that first movie, you know, and admittedly I'm a big Mario fan. You know, like.
Right.
You know, I'm not, but like I'm also not looking for like Pixar like high quality out of my Mario movie. I'm like, is this a good time? Is it true to the characters? You know, um, you know, like that's it. That's it. Is Jack Black fun in this one? I hope he is. He was really fun in the last one.
I certainly hope so.
That Peaches song, bro.
It still hits,
yeah.
you know?
So...
Like, I feel like that's going to be a karaoke song for a long time.
Fair.
I assume the new plot is that Jack Black has obtained nuclear fissile material and is threatening reality or something.
Okay.
That wouldn't faze me.
Yeah, but they and then, you know, they put those re-releases of Fire Red and Leaf Green out, which have been wildly successful. Almost everyone I know is playing it.
I've enjoyed them very deeply by badge questing and taking forever to progress.
So
I'm 3 badges in.
Well, I'm not far behind you then, because I finally started those games because I threw my back out on Sunday. And I've been, like, basically, outside of, like, having to leave the house for essential things, I've basically been in my armchair or my desk chair. But my desk chair eventually hurts my back. So I went to my so, like, I'm like, well, what can I play in the armchair in the living room? I'm not in the mood to play any of these PlayStation games, my Switch. So, yeah, I started up Fire Red, and I beat Brock, and I'm on my way to Mount Moon. But first, I want to make sure my team is even, because that game does have XP share.
Well, it does, but not until much later.
Yeah, so
that sucks.
It is also only 1-to-1 XP share, so it splits the XP between one Pokemon and the Pokemon holding the XP share.
Yeah, so which, to be fair, if you're willing to grind it, that's not too crazy. Which, you know,
okay.
You need to have a Pokedex of 60 before you're allowed to have it, which is, you know, over half the Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's not half the Pokemon.
No, not over half. It's below half.
Yeah, so it's that's not hard. Like, I'm already like 15 in, and I'm barely in a Mount Moon. I'm catching everything that the game will let me.
Yeah. If you do that, by the time you get to it, you can do it. But I mean, as long as you're evolving them. If you're not evolving them, you won't be there.
Well, yeah, I'm taking time to evolve. So I'm about to have a Pidgeotto. I'm about to have a Charmeleon. I have a Butterfree. Next up on my list is Beedrill. It's good stuff. But yeah, they've had a wildly successful year. I know that people are like, but they had to cut production of the Switch 2 in North America. It's like, yeah, dude, do you know how easy it is to get a Switch 2 in North America? Why would you fucking produce units when you have enough?
Yeah, right now it's not actually a huge issue of supply.
You know, and currently at least it's on pace to be the goddamn best-selling console ever. Like, it's crazy how fast this thing is selling.
It's been almost a year since it released now.
Yeah, it's been 9 months, and they just keep. Actually, no, it's been 10 months. Yeah, and they just, you know, they just keep selling through. It's crazy. I think that in the case of what's going on right now, is Pokopia is definitely helping a lot. Yeah. I know several people who bought Switches to play Pokopia.
You know, and Pokemon Champions comes out next week too, so that's
right. I saw that at Boston last week.
Yep.
And that looks really good. Very Pokemon Battle Revolution feeling.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was giving me like Pokemon Stadium kind of vibes.
And that's its clear intent. It's where they're trying to migrate the competitive to. I've been very lucky, by the way, with my Leaf Green playthrough, in that I got, I think it was like 380 something encounters before I got my shiny starter. And
Hell
then, I randomly for my second badge, because obviously a badge quest is where I have to find a shiny before every badge. I randomly just ran into a shiny Weedle. And so just on my way there, I just got one and I was like, oh, great. And
like,
then
cool.
and then after about 7,000 resets, which is normally a little lucky, but not crazy. But I got a shiny Abra, and luckily shiny Abra is the easiest shiny hunt in the entire game because you can get a bunch of coins at the game's corner and buy like 80 of them at a time. And so it takes like, 15 to 20 minutes, and then you just check back on your game after turning turbo on, and you've got 80 Abras to look at, and then you reset.
I hear stories like this, and then the one Ray told me about how he was resetting the game for a week to get his shiny Squirtle. And I just am like, y'all motherfuckers have mental sickness.
I mean,
you all are
hunted
fucked in
is
the
a
head.
thing.
I know it's a thing, and I think these people are fucked in the head.
What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna do an RNG manipulation of a shiny Zapdos, because you can get Zapdos way early in this game if you take a very unique approach to your badges, because you're actually, after your second gym badge, you don't really need to get any other badge in order except for you can't get the 8th badge. So I went straight to Koga and got, I think that's the 5th badge instead of the 3rd badge, so that I could get Surf right away. And when you have Surf at 3 badges, you have access to the entire map now. And so I can go all the way to get Zapdos, only 3 badges in. So I'm going to get Zapdos, and I reverse engineered my secret ID, which is the ID that determines the shiniest of Pokemon, as well as a number of other random factors, by taking my shiny Weedle and leveling him up one at a time, and then putting his IVs into a calculator to determine his exact IVs, and then determining what IVs he would have to have with his current PID, and figuring out what PID he would need to have and what SID I would need to have to be shiny, which lets me know the exact thing that I need to know to go up to Zapdos and get frame accurate. It's a triple frame accurate trick. So you have to hit a 1 in 60 precise input 3 times in a row to get the exact configuration of the game that will result in a shiny Zapdos appearing.
I want you to know, if it wouldn't kill us in the algorithm, I would literally make the title of this episode "Shiny Hunters Are Fucked in the Head." Like, Jesus Christ.
Like,
I have done some crazy
Pokemon Hunters,
shit.
Period, are messed up in the head.
I have done some crazy shit in video games. Like, I have done some, like back in vanilla World of Warcraft, there was some very degenerate shit you would do to maximize honor or gear or rep.
Right.
Like, this is just, there comes a point where I'm like, this is too much effort. This is too much effort. I don't care that much. I just want to play the video game.
No, but when you go through all of the effort, your attachment at the end, the sense of accomplishment and story to your experience is so much greater. Because by the time I reach the Elite Four, I won't just have a team. I'll have a group of people I've spent like 115 hours with. These Pokemon have been my Pokemon for this long and arduous journey. And I'll have them forevermore.
Fair. I don't know. It's just like I'm not immersed in the world doing that, so I actually don't feel it as part of the journey. It just feels like a bad prerequisite.
Stupid. There's barely anything going on there. It's as substantive as a piece of paper.
Lord.
It's I guess it's about the personal journey. There's a fantastic YouTuber that I think encapsulates this feeling more than any other creator that I've ever seen, called Absol Blogs Pokemon.
All right.
And he makes like 2 to 3 hour long movie length videos that is just documenting his journey through a specific version of him playing the game. And it's incredible. It's incredible, and it absolutely hooked me on things like badge quests and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, let's get to the next news story then, though.
Also Nintendo.
Yeah, first handful of stories are Nintendo. Nintendo Switch is more popular among Japanese teens than Disney, Pokemon, and Nintendo itself.
Yep.
This new survey by Nikkei, is it Nikkei?
Yeah, it's Nikkei.
Which asked Japanese teenagers and adults their views on various brands to determine which is the most powerful in Japan. It involved a sample size of 37,000 Japanese citizens, looked at 1,000 brands, companies, products, and services. The results were into two charts, one for under 20 and one for all of age. For under 20, Switch was the most popular brand, or second most popular only by YouTube, which means the Switch is what the title said. Other notables are Pokemon at 7, Amazon at 9, Disney at 10. And then the situation is different when expanded to all generations.
The differential here is actually really crazy, right? Because the youth recognition of a lot of these brands is like really separated from the actual results for adults.
That does not surprise me. That doesn't surprise me given Nintendo or Japanese culture.
Yeah, because the Switch being number 2 on the youth list is number 59 on the adult list. But the most staggering here is Pokemon, number 7 on the youth list, 201 on the adult list.
But Nintendo only goes from 3 to 12 on the overall list.
Yeah, and, it's a much longer lasting brand. I didn't know YouTube was so popular, especially because they have like Japanese exclusive streaming platforms that are very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Nico Nico Doga.
I think,
and I guess people have just switched to YouTube as time goes on. I know there's a lot of Japanese YouTubers. I certainly watch them.
I think Nintendo, I think it's just that in the case of YouTube, it's so big, it's so ubiquitous that it's going to be number one with most teens, kids, especially because, like, that's their television. Like, they don't watch Netflix or, all that shit. They watch YouTube. And then in the case of Nintendo, I actually think, like, in terms of the future of Nintendo in Japan, within, like, 10 years, Nintendo is just going to be video games in Japan. Yeah. You see the way PlayStation is just floundering out there right now in comparison outside of a handful of games. Their price going up, Nintendo staying flat, especially Nintendo offering a, Japanese only, like, $300 unit. Like, right. It's, and, that'll filter down eventually, because eventually those people, well, maybe not Japan. We might be looking at the last couple Japanese generations here coming up, the way they're having kids. But you look at like the way if they have kids, they'll probably get their kids a Switch, and then if Nintendo keeps leaning towards handhelds, which I think they will, because why wouldn't you? Handhelds are a lot more popular out there. I think
the surprising one to me here though is Pokemon, because Pokemon is a 30-year-old brand, and its height of popularity is well within the minds of adults. So you would think it would be more recognizable.
Well, like, I am of kid having age, and Pokemon was at its biggest when I was, like, 10.
Yeah. The thing is that I think Pokemon was much more of an international phenomenon than it actually appeared.
Yes. I mean, it was also a slow burn. I think people don't necessarily realize how much of a slow burn Pokemon was. Because they came out in Japan in 96, but here in 98. So that is something that, like, people, so Pokemon, like, kind of just slowly caught fire, and yes, and it became the most profitable media franchise ever, da-da-da-da-da-da. We all know that portion of it. I don't know.
It's just in Japan they have a lot of overlap with TCG in their youth culture for Pokemon, which is not quite as much the case here, and is also like really inaccessible to adults who aren't keeping up with it because it's very complicated.
Dude, let me so let me tell you Pokemon cards. I briefly had a nostalgia wave hit me last year, towards the end of the year, where I was like, maybe I should buy some Pokemon cards. Right?
Right.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, because one, every time I've ever gotten into a card game, I end up spending $300. And looking at the price of Pokemon everything, it would probably be a lot more than that, actually. So
now for sure,
yeah, like it'd probably be like
it's exploded again in like the last year, if I recall.
Yes, and it's starting to contract a little bit right now. I think that has more to do with the United States economy than anything, but starting to contract a little bit, and even then though, dude, like this shit's crazy. Like I ended up,
the price of Pokemon stuff has been starting to contract for 4 years now.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I found this YouTuber who follows this Reddit and this this Reddit and TikTok account called Poke Streets. Have you heard of this?
No. Is this people fighting over?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Because I know this is like a phenomenon.
God.
It is.
Like,
it is.
It is the wildest shit.
Hold on, let me see if I can goddamn mute these TikToks. Yeah, it's no, dude, it's crazy. It's like people fighting at vending machines and like all this shit. Like it's, oh, dude, it's wild. It's just absolutely wild. Like just
they've had to program those vending machines to only put out like packs and boxes at a certain rate to prevent people from scalping them.
But this is true. So, this is absolutely true. But one of my buddies has it down to a science on when they like reset.
Well, but what the scalpers are doing now is they've figured out you can reset that by going behind it and unplugging it. So now like Target and Walmart and
plug it back in, and it goes to its default.
Yes, and like it's just so it's this whole YouTube channel where like this chick goes on Poke Streets and tells the stories that are happening. So like dudes going in and getting stuck while unplugging the vending machine, for example.
Yeah.
I'm a bitch.
People getting in fights. Yeah, like there's this one where it's just like a straight up fist fight outside of a Target, like, you know, and this guy's girlfriend starts throwing water bottles at them.
This has birthed a fascinating secondary economy as well.
Okay.
So there is the consequence of all of these scalpers existing. They exist because it's profitable. If you go and you buy a Pokemon box on launch, it will usually, right now, be worth more than you purchased it for.
Yes.
Like pretty shortly after. Because it's going to be really inaccessible because everybody wants it and nobody can get it. So this being so inaccessible has led people to other mediums of trying to acquire these Pokemon cards still. And so there's a new type of live streamer on I believe it's an app called Whatnot.
All right.
Which is also like a shopping platform. And what they do is you pay them and they open packs for you on their live stream and then send you the cards from the packs.
Oh, yes. But the thing is, I have heard what's going on here most of the time is they're pre-opening the packs.
Yes.
Taking out any good cards and then stealing it. Yeah.
The new scammers, which are because the reason that people are going to them in the first place is just because this is a guy who has like 40 boxes and he can just keep opening them, which means he's going to give you a pretty similar, not the same, but a pretty similar price to a pack. And then you get to open a pack, right? Whereas before, you're not going to get a box at all. So you're not going to get to open a pack.
What is the newest set? Do you know?
I don't know. What's the one with the moon Umbreon? That's
that's old. That's that when I was looking at it, that one was already a couple old.
The newest Pokemon TCG set. Let's see. Mega Evolution Perfect Order.
Oh yeah.
With a focus on Mega Zygarde EX.
Yeah, I heard this one the scalpers don't like for some reason. Yeah, even then,
there's kind of a randomness to it, and it seems to be based on how relevant the cards are for play in TCG.
And also how popular they are with fans. Like, anytime a Charizard one comes up, everyone loses their fucking mind. What was the one that was the...
but the Moon Umbreon one, which was, I think it was, what, Paldean Fates?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But the reason that one was so popular was just it has incredible art. It has very good art, and people like Umbreon.
Well, it's just like how the thing that got me on this is I heard a set called 151 came out, and I'm a sucker for Gen 1 and Gen 2.
And 151's like prize card was the Bubble Mew, which is just Mew in a bubble.
Yeah, like, dude, packs of 151 are $35 right now.
Yeah. And so because they're so inaccessible, people who bulk purchased them early on, scalpers, really, right? Like, it'd be live streams of scalpers opening cards for you and sending them to you, but they're already scummy. They're scalpers. So it became it's a big issue where these smaller to mid-sized streamers were pre-opening their packs and just taking all the hits and
then resealing them. Weird. Like, see, if you were smart about that, what you would do is you would like keep a couple of good cards in there just to make it so you look legit. I love this. So the set that I was referring to that I was considering buying when it was like hot and out was Phantasmal Flames, which you can get I think the MSRP for the trainer box was like $50, and you could get one for like 60 to 70 when I was looking. Okay, so it is currently up to $120 if you wanted a box. Oh my god, like, Jesus Christ.
I think the thing that really probably spurred on this yet again resurgence of engagement with the TCG was the app coming out, Pokemon Pocket.
Oh, yes.
It's just called Pocket TCG. A lot of friends of mine got way into it, and I think that just got people into the TCG again, which got people into buying the physical cards, which led to an overall resurgence in the market for the physical cards.
But okay, so I'm gonna be real. So what I've heard though is because they've printed so much product, if you just wait long enough, a lot of the value on these will tank. Which
it's nothing but bubble.
Yes. So I'm like sitting here going like, the only set that I really care about is 151, because like like I said, I'm old, and so like, dude, I'll just wait till the value on 151 tanks. Like, isn't that hard? And then I'll just call like, I would ideally like to get one of every card in 151, and then like do like a frame, like frame it. I think that'd be a really cool project. Oh, I see why this perfect order thing isn't selling. Most of these Pokemon suck.
Nobody actually super cares about Mega Zygarde. His design, I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's weird. It's like a blimp.
Then
Mega Clefable sucks. Mega Starmie looks like a freak, which I love, but is not gonna be wildly popular.
Like, some of these cards look cool, and I'm looking through it, and I'm like, okay, like, I dig the look of the Hawlucha. I like the look of the Gengar, though there's a lot better Gengars. They got a Snorlax, which... No, I actually thought it would be like... and I look at, like, the full art cards they do, though, and, like, most of these do look like shit. I think the Clefairy looks neat. I think the Zytol looks neat. The Mega Starmie looks like Patrick from SpongeBob. And then, yeah, the rest of these look like shit. So, yeah, I see why this isn't exactly popular. This makes sense. Not all of them are going to be bangers, though.
But, Pokemon cards increasing in price. Let's just transition that into our next story. That Nintendo confirms its US Switch 2 games will soon cost more as physical versions.
Yeah, so they're starting this with Yoshi, where if you buy the physical version of Yoshi, it's going to be $70. But if you buy the digital version, like myself, it'll be $60.
Oh.
They're already doing this in the UK, where like Mario Kart will be $90 but $80 on digital. This starts May 26th, though, and it's starting right now with pre-orders for Yoshi. And then as always, retail partners set their own prices for physical and digital games, and pricing for titles may vary, is what they say. I think that this is very telling of something in the market, which is retailers now no longer have any power in video games. Because it used to be the reason why digital and physical prices stayed the same is you didn't want to piss off the retailers. Because you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But now the retailers...
You see 80% of your sales come from digital. You're all of a sudden going, oh, who cares?
Right. And then you're getting a bigger cut, too. This, to me, reads like Nintendo trying to do everything they can to not increase the price of the console. Because what this does is this increases margins on games in two ways. One, you're just making it an extra $10 if people are committed to physical. And if they're committed to digital, you're getting... Or if they move to digital, you're getting more margin off each game sold, even if it's cheaper. Because you're not giving the store 30%. So... Yeah, I think that this is a move by Nintendo that, well, what are you going to do? Not sell a Switch 2? Fuck off. Keep selling my box. Get your, $10 off my box and keep selling that shit. And then...
I think it's difficult to fully encompass this story without also talking about the next story, as, in fact, in the article that we're referencing here, they mention our next story as well.
Yeah, we'll do 2 for 1 here. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but the next story would be that the Switch 2 price is eventually going to have to go up, as quoted by a former Nintendo sales lead, simply going by the name Sean.
Yeah, he was on Kit and Krista podcast. I was listening to that this week, and he says, quote, "I unfortunately think eventually the hardware price is going to have to go up. I think there's things they can and seem to be doing to try and mitigate that. But I also look at this move on software sales, if I'm reading it correctly, a way to make hardware price increase a little more palatable. We've been seeing inflation being a problem for a while now. Tariffs are more a recent nuisance, but they're not going anywhere anytime soon. The demand that AI is causing for chips is causing memory prices to go up, and within the past couple weeks we have issues with oil prices going through the roof, and when oil goes through the roof, that's not just shipping costs go up, that's, we can imagine to get to the games, wherever they're being manufactured, to the warehouse, to the retailers, to the shelf, that's going to drive up the price. And then he goes into the helium is important in chip production, and this war is causing issues with that.
Because helium is a byproduct of the oil industry.
Yes, it is. So
the point being here is that the global market in general has been incredibly inflationary for a bunch of people.
Yep.
And for a large variety of reasons, and tech is especially vulnerable to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Nintendo is kind of being among the big three. Nintendo is the one that isn't being jumpy about price.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft and Sony are kind of like seeing any change that's going to result in they clearly don't have as much cushion to deal with losses from big shifts in global pricing in their supply chain, and so they're changing very quickly.
And also something to note here is, while Microsoft is cash rich, they don't want to put that kind of money into Xbox. And Sony relies on PlayStation. They also don't want to lose any money on PlayStation. Nintendo is willing to lose money for a little bit, and they're cash rich as fuck. So...
Yeah. And, I mean, it's a good strategy. It's working out for them incredibly well right now, because Their low price has led to them being able to develop a huge amount of market dominance over the other two companies when it comes to this next generation of consoles, not only because they're going to be more affordable than the next generation of consoles, but also because they're currently the only one available of the next generation of consoles, meaning that by the time that Sony and Microsoft enter the market for the new gen, they really have to rely on, we're going to have super mega graphics, big graphics are our only, draw over a Nintendo Switch. But you already have a Nintendo Switch, and you're going to be, persuaded to spend $1,000 to $1,500 potentially on a new console, while you've already got a kind of a bit of a library going on your Nintendo Switch, especially as they've increased their indie adoption over the last 5 years pretty significantly. And they're gonna be, I mean, this feels to me like the sort of dominant positioning that Xbox had when the original Xbox came out, or when the 360 came out, sorry, that allowed them to really, win that generation, in that they made not even a better console in the 360, right? The thing was breaking,
other than the 100%
of the time.
It was a better console from a software perspective and a development perspective. It just had a bad case of gremlins.
Right. And it was clearly like a little rushed out the door, but it didn't really matter for the 360, all of these problems, because it's positioning. It was just, it was timed such that the PS3 is not out. This is the best available thing on the market right now, and it's not so expensive it's going to blow your wallet up.
Yeah, like, and I think that, like, yes, the Wii ended up outselling it, but the Wii was kind of its own thing, very much so.
Yeah.
And also, the reason why it and PS3 tied is because Microsoft took their foot off the gas. Microsoft took their foot. I did a 45-minute video on this. Microsoft did. They took the foot off the gas. If they would have stayed committed and kept doing what they were doing, dude, they probably do make it to 100, 120.
The Xbox 360 was successful by accident, and they spent the rest of the generation trying to correct the mistake of being a success.
Right? I mean, I've talked about this before. The more I look at it, the more I look at the 360, the more it just feels like a lucky fucking mistake. As you put it. Like the more I look at what they have done post 360, and like, not like the original Xbox is kind of weird because it's like their first product.
Right.
And the 360 was an evolution of that. So like, it really feels like that first console was designed with some intent that was ahead of its time. The second console was, like, luckily successful with that intent. And then it just seems like a lucky win because all they've done is fuck up for, like, 15 straight years.
And stories from Microsoft that came from people that were there at the time give this air that they kind of knew, like, this is our fucking shot, right? Like, we're gonna outmaneuver the PS3. We're gonna be out. We're gonna be the only option. We're gonna not be too expensive for people to engage with, and we're gonna fucking blow up. And so we need to get out by any means necessary. And they did, and it worked. I am seeing echoes of that scenario for the Switch 2, in comparison to the other consoles right now, and it's obviously not positioned in the same way the Wii was, because the Wii was this sort of like, once in a lifetime, very weird,
dude,
we have a new technology marketing to a completely different audience sort of video game console.
This is how I knew, even as like at age 16, the Wii was a different animal. I got one a little bit after Christmas as a late Christmas gift. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's why I asked her for Christmas. My mom couldn't get one. She gave me a gift card worth the value of a Wii and a game. She found one, took it home, took home the game. She got Madden 07, and I used some of my own money to get Zelda. And then she bought herself a game.
Yeah.
She bought herself a copy of Super Swing Golf.
Right.
It was such a weird thing at the time.
It was a very weird time. I mean, my mom doesn't very much play video games. She played Harvest Moon, and that's all she played back then. And then she, we got the Wii, and she was like, "Oh, I can play this," and she played a bunch of it. She played a bunch of it with us.
Yeah, like my mom played Pac-Man and Frogger in the arcade, and then she really enjoyed Super Swing Golf and Wii Sports, and then once the Wii died out, she just played like different games on Apple Arcade on her phone, right. And that was her only real gaming connection beyond me, which it's really impressive the amount of absolute bangers she would pick out for me at random. Like, it was really hilarious how, like, because, like, every now and then my mom would, like, be super nice, and, like, she worked next door to a GameStop. Yeah. So, like, she would go in there, like, and check out sales and see if she could get stuff on the cheap.
Just like, something up.
Yeah, just like, oh, I want to give him, my son a nice surprise. And, like, she picked up PSO2, or not PSO2, Phantasy Star Online on entirely accident. She's like, he might like this. It's like $10, and she was right. I loved it. So...
Yeah, but suffice to say, the Wii was a crazy console generation.
It is historically relevant also, not just the 360, that, like, traditionally in the console market, the first mover does tend to do better. Not always.
Yeah.
But, like, the PS1 dominated. It was the second one to market. But Sega made a bunch of stupid mistakes, including pricing. The PS2 beat the GameCube and Xbox. The 360 beat the PS3. The Wii U did beat the other two, but sadly it, And then Nintendo's kind of been off their own track for a while, because they haven't been doing the within a year upgrade since the Switch. But I do think that, right now, and we're going to talk about this, the PS5 just went up in price. We're going to talk about that more soon. The Xbox is going to be astronomically priced. If Nintendo can hold at $450, if they can do some way to just stay
they're going to make everything back up on software sales. It'll be such a ridiculous overachieving success if they're able to hold line as they have so far.
Because when you're looking at a $550 minimum dollar, actually no, it's $600. You're looking at a minimum $600 for the gimped PlayStation. Not $650 for a regular PlayStation, $900 for a premium PlayStation, $650 for a regular fucking Xbox. $450 for a Switch 2 seems like a steal.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a coworker who's been thinking about buying a console for his children, and he's got 2 kids, and the only thing even in consideration is the Switch.
Yes,
the Switch 2 is the only thing he's considering, because why would he get them an older console for more money that doesn't have the new Donkey Kong game on it?
And it doesn't have more
right? It doesn't have Mario Kart, it doesn't have Donkey Kong, it doesn't have Pokopia. And so, Pokopia comes out and he's asking me, he's like, that game really good? I'm like, yeah, it's really good. And he's like, yeah, I think I might have to pick up a Switch now.
I mean, I have a lot of older coworkers, right? Like coworkers who are well into having kids who are about to be able to play video games. And if they were to ask me, like, hey, what console should I get them? I'd be like, absolutely get them Switch 2. It can play most of the big live service stuff. In fact, recently Marvel Rivals, they've already said they're working on a port. It can play most of the big live service stuff. It gets most of the games that people want. You're getting a bunch of exclusive games, and it's the only one that's, like, reasonably even sort of reasonably priced. It's not that $450 in the current marketplace. $450 is cheap. That is just the reality we're in.
$200 less than the other two.
Yeah, like it's like everybody at launch was complaining about it, but I'm just like, y'all don't know how these tariffs and chip prices are about to get messed up. $450 is a deal. So yeah, I think it's smart. I think that in the case of this move, if they do end up having to raise the cost of hardware, being able to go, well, if you buy your games digitally, it's $10 cheaper. I don't think that's as big of a selling point. I think that this ex-sales guy is like very optimistic in that worldview. Right. But I do think that if Nintendo can just hold at 450 or 500 with a game, they're in very good position to lock people in for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But hey, let's move on to our next story.
Let's talk about a PlayStation game.
Marathon.
A PlayStation game, not a PlayStation game, apparently, because an analytics firm estimates that Marathon has sold 1.2 million copies, but only 19% are on PS5. That's...
Yeah, that's not very many.
Generating a gross 55 million, despite being a PlayStation Studio family. Just under 70% is on Steam, and then 19 on PlayStation, 11 on Xbox.
It's so crazy to me how consistently you can rely on Bungie to make money unless they are owning themselves.
Well, you see, the thing that I have realized about Bungie as a service and like a studio is they need to be beaten and whipped by a taskmaster in order to be productive, apparently.
It's just like, they make one shit zillion dollars, go, we did it. We've earned freedom, and we've broken our chains. They go independent. They lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
They get bought, and then they go, well, we've been working on this thing that it could make a shit zillion dollars, but we ran out of money, so we can't make it. And sure, I guess make it for us. And then they make it for them, and it makes the shit zillion dollars they thought it would make. And then fucking they go, all right, and hey, we've earned our freedom again. And they try and break off, because I mean, Bungie fucking hates Sony. Like, it's so well documented that like all of their internal woes has been Sony trying to beat them down like dogs, and that Marathon for them is kind of like a Hail Mary, where they just they're like, we have to make enough money to continue existing, otherwise we're going to get absorbed into Sony, and then Sony's going to delete them because they can't keep a studio open for more than, I don't know, 3 days or some shit.
Well, I think that Sony wants studios now that are profitable, and Bungie, for whatever reason, has proven that, like, they spend as much money as they make, if not more. Otherwise, they would still be independent. They can't manage a project or a timeline to save their fucking lives. You know? And...
yeah, but when a project like this comes out and it makes crazy money immediately, and then costs $1 zillion to maintain, that's really their biggest problem, is that Bungie puts out Destiny makes a bunch of money, Destiny 2 makes a bunch of money, every expansion makes a bunch of money, it just doesn't make enough money to pay for the staff that need to work on it the entire time of its lifespan, and they run out.
Which after Bungie came out, or not Bungie, Destiny came out in 2014, after 12 years of that, you maybe should change your pattern. And, you...
Really, I think their problem is live service.
I think their problem is their tools. Because apparently, like, I've been playing Marathon recently, and I'll go into my opinions of the game itself when we get to that point. But, like, I've been playing Marathon recently, and, like, it is so obvious this is built on the Destiny engine. Yeah. It is so fucking obvious it's built on the Destiny engine.
I presume the gun do shooty good. The best, in fact.
It feels amazing. It feels fucking incredible. I mean, like A plus on the gunplay and on the movement and everything. However, The menus are still bad. They still do the weird codex thing. It like at least the codex thing makes sense in this game, and I'll get into that. But yeah, like, and I'm just like, man, it's really hard to make anything with these tools and iterate with these tools, but you keep insisting on using them. Maybe you should stop doing that.
Yeah. I mean, Destiny definitely also had problems with its UI for like a long time.
It still does. It's still bad. It's less bad, but it's bad.
Infamously, the last major expansion I played, the draw that they had for players was, hey guys, we put loadouts in, so you don't have to deal with our fuck-ass menus as much.
Yep.
Like they've just been slowly improving those menus, and they're still, again, very fucked up. I mean, every time I launch that game, Destiny 2, I go in, and there's a notification somewhere, and I cannot figure out where it is.
Okay, and then there's another thing about Destiny 2's UI that other developers have stolen, and I hate them for making this a standard.
Mm-hmm.
Stop turning this into a mouse. Using an analog stick as a stand-in for a mouse fucking sucks. Just create menus where I can use a fucking D-pad, like every other video game in existence, you assholes.
Yeah.
Now tell me how you really feel, Bronson.
Fuck Jesus.
Yeah, I don't like the little ball. I don't like the little ball they give you.
I know, like, when I first booted up Marathon, and I was, like, messing around, I was like, where the fuck is my cursor? Or where the fuck, I'm, like, moving, I'm trying to press the D-pad to click around the menus, and I'm like, no. I move the analog stick, and I see the circle drag, and I'm like, oh, god damn it, Bungie!
They give you the worst of both worlds, because the circle is hard to track on PC.
So, yeah, no, it's, not great. But, so yeah, they've sold 1.2 million, which is, like, not bad. It's respectable, at minimum. That said, it's obviously getting just entirely blown out by ARC raiders, comparatively.
Yeah. Which, that being a random phenomena happening right before Marathon comes out, really sucks for them.
I actually think that it's helping Marathon because it got more people accustomed to the genre. And I do think it's actually helping them. And I actually think it's a way better game than Arc Raiders.
I think an important statistic that comes up in this story is that 22% of players on Steam who have played the game have played for over 50 hours. Its attach rate is really, really good.
Let me tell you, it is well worth $40. It is an awesome fucking game. I am gonna go into more detail when we get there, but man, I was so shocked. I wasn't gonna buy this game. It came out the same day as Resident Evil and a new WoW expansion. I'm like, dude, I got shit to play. Alright, straight up. I go, and I was listening to the Jeff Gerstmann show on my commute to work, and he is talking about how much fun he's having, how incredible it is. And I'm like, fucking really? And then I hear that from a couple people I know, and I'm like, really? And then Jeff puts out a text review on his Patreon, giving it a 5 out of 5. And I'm like,
damn.
And I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll try the game. And I try the game, and like, well, you know, shooty, do feel good. And it took me about 2 hours to really understand how the game works in full. Like, there's just a lot to the loot you're getting, pre-made loadouts versus custom loadouts, losing your shit and whatnot. But like, man, that game fucking rules. And I'll save the rest for later. But
you know, I worry about booting up Marathon, which I've yet to do because I've been busy. But I worry that I'll boot it up because here's the thing, right? I am very good at Destiny 2.
I know. I've played with you. I'm well aware.
It's one of my few gamer points of pride is that's one of those games that I'm fucking crazy at.
Yeah. Yes.
And I fear because it happens to me every time I get back into Destiny 2. Because the people I play with most of the time in Destiny 2 are very, very good at Destiny 2. And so I get back in and I'm like, I'm fucking chopped. I'm chopped. I suck. And I go through this this feeling of complete loss and failure of the grandeur I once possessed, having been top 100 in the world Destiny player at one point. And I fear it'll happen just once again with Marathon, where I'll go in there and I'll be like, I'm not dominating this game. I'm fucking chopped. I suck.
So I think that Marathon being a lot more PvP based will help you along. You know, well, so it's interesting because it's PvE VP. So what works is you get a contract, and oh fuck, I might as well just do the Marathon what we've been playing now.
Well, I must say that I do have one strategy, and that's bringing in my secret weapon, and that's getting the man that me and you have discussed many a time before, my good friend Chris, who was arguably at one point top 5 Destiny PvPers in the world. And he's told me, he's like, oh, I'd play Marathon with you. So I'm gonna get him in, and he's gonna be my fucking secret weapon.
It's like I used to play Gears of War with this guy named Kenneth, who was like top 100 on the leaderboards and got up to like top 1 at one point. And we'd play with him and we'd be like, just follow Kenneth. Just follow Kenneth.
Yeah. I mean, Chris used to go to Trials of Osiris, the sweatiest, most try-hard version of Destiny you could possibly engage with. Mm-hmm. He goes into Trials of Osiris, and he goes, all right, I have 2 people paying me to get them to the lighthouse. So I have their accounts in this game completely AFK. I am playing 1v3, and I am going flawless all 9 matches in a row to get them to the lighthouse.
I thought it was 7 in a row.
Was it 7?
I think it was 7, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is 7. You're right, but he'd do it. He'd go flawless all 7 matches.
That doesn't
do that like 8 times in a day.
That doesn't surprise me. I've seen that man on WoW. I'm like, yeah, that checks out.
It's crazy.
No,
when I get him in any other game, fucking half a brain cell. Like
so Marathon I feel is very interesting because it is partially like Destiny. You can feel the Destiny DNA there, but the PvPvE element really adds another thing because you can just so easily fuck yourself and lose everything because
I find myself positioning myself like in a really shitty position against a bunch of enemies, and then I get third partied and I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I'm fucked.
Yeah, you know? Well, yes, that happens all the time. I will say this: sometimes you are the guy doing that, and it feels great. You just like, I'm about to ruin this man's day. Honestly, one of my favorite things that has happened in my runs is I solo queue. I'm not playing with other people. If you end up getting the game and playing the game, let me know. I'd be happy to play. But I've been playing with strangers, so I just keep my mic off and follow them. But once I get mine, I'm extracting. I am not here for you. I am a mercenary. Once I get mine, I'm heading out. Perfect example of that was what happened last night. I get my contract done. I have full bags. I got a sick gun and new inventory bag. I am ready to get the fuck out. Yeah. And so I do. I do the exfil, but they go off to do a one more objective and get their stuff done. I extract with 2,000 worth of inventory value. 1 elimination. I'm feeling good. Both these guys die alone on the planet. One of them losing $2,000 worth of inventory.
Damn.
And I'm just like,
sucks for him.
I'm just like, you should have took the coward's way out. I did it. The second that I have a full bag and a done objective, if I'm not friends of yours and I'm with you, you can count on me to leave. So, I will say also,
look out for number 1.
Exactly. If you know, if I'm grouped with you and I'm friends with you playing the game, like, cool, I'll stick around and lose all my shit. That's fine.
Well, I mean, if you're in a fucking squad, right? Yeah. Isn't it that like you literally can't extract alone? Like you have to extract the squad.
No, you can extract alone.
You abandon your boys.
You can abandon your boys. You can leave. I left those motherfuckers to die. Nice. Well, so they can extract later at a different point. So it's just like, so if you're like, hey guys, I want to get my shit and get out. Are you fine with me going? You can do that. So you don't need to. So you can extract separate. You extract together. But this case, I was like, I have way too much shit. My objective's done. I don't want to lose this. Good luck, you too. Goodbye. So, yeah, no, you could totally leave, a pair of people to just die alone on an unmarked planet. Actually, not true. It is a marked planet. But anyway.
That sounds fun. I gotta do that.
Yeah, it's the most I've ever enjoyed an extraction shooter. I didn't like Arc Raiders. And I think part of the reason I didn't like Arc Raiders is I don't like the setting of most extraction shooters of being like this weird fucking just like survival game meets like just you're collecting junk in these very ugly environments and the shooting feels like shit.
The thing about Marathon is that it inherits the absolutely batshit psychopathic setting that is Marathon. Yep. From its prior games.
Yes.
But I can't imagine its format actually like does a lot with that. I don't think you're getting crazed, insane rants from Durandal in extraction shooters.
So kind of. You're kind of getting that. I don't want to spoil it. So you can work for different like corporations completing objectives, and you'll get these like cutscenes from them talking about their goals and objectives and how they're working with you as a runner, and you're working with different AIs and shit. And like that's what I mean when I say like the codex and the terminals actually make sense here, like in terms of the setting and how it's all.
Marathon, the original games were basically nothing but codex and terminals. Like
it was a Mac game. It was an early Mac game. Yeah, it was a Doom clone. Yeah, so it was really, that shit's really cool, and just like the setting, like all the maps look fucking incredible. Every time I've been in a zone, I was like, this looks sick as hell. Yeah, I my biggest surprise of the year so far. Like far and away my biggest surprise of the year. Like I'm shocked, and I do like how like most matches at most take like 20 minutes. At most, at least early game, because I'm still really early game. I'm only like level 9 of 25. But like early game so far, most matches take at most like 20 minutes. So it's a very much a game you can get in, go enjoy yourself, and then get out for the night. So yeah. Anyway, back to news though. So
smallest surprise of the year, PS5. Confirms it's increasing its console prices by at least $100.
Yeah. So, do you want me to go over the price on these, where they were and where they're at now?
I've got them. So, the PS5 is going up to $649.99 from $549.99. PS5 Digital Edition $599.99 from $499.99. And the PS5 Pro $899.99 up from $699.99. So those are all in the US. And then they have a. I mean, do you want me to go through the UK, Europe, and Japan as well?
No.
We're good. We're increases. Good. Some of them even higher increases.
Yeah, we live in America. We live in America land. We're good on those. So, Bro, a $900 PS5 Pro.
$900 PS5 Pro.
That's.
I mean, I'm just never buying that. That's just not happening.
That's, man. But the thing is, though, is like, if you look at the price of like PC RAM and PCs right now, that's not outlandish.
Yeah, I mean, memory prices have increased 170%. It's pretty absurd.
Like, I'm gonna go on Newegg real quick here and see how much, like, I'm gonna go with 32 gig kit to make it a little more fair, because like I have a 64 gig kit in my machine, but that's a bit much. Let's see. So, memory, desktop memory. Whoo! All right, so DDR5, 16 gig per module. We're gonna go to brother. Oh. Okay. Minimum $370 for 32 gigs of RAM.
Jesus.
And if you want like really fast RAM, you're looking at like 500. Oh my god.
That's absurd.
Well, let me filter out all the really slow stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. So you can still get fast stuff for oh yeah, wait, hold on. I need to drop the latency. God damn it. All right, let's
I think when I got 32 gigs of RAM in my PC, DDR5, good fast RAM, it's like $90.
I got 64 gigs last year for $200, and it was like the fastest RAM you could get. Yeah, okay, so if you're not too particular about brand, you can get very fast 32 gigs of RAM for about $500.
Jesus.
That's fucking crazy. That's so I mean, so in the current,
this in combination with oil and with just general inflation, like, I mean, yeah, they had to raise prices. They're really sensitive, clearly, towards their supply chain price increasing, and all of that affects it significantly. They've already been raising prices a bunch. Importantly, this marks a milestone for the PS5 Pro in Japan, where it is now double the price it was on release.
So fucking crazy. Hey, guess
which right now it is 137,000 yen.
What? Oh my god. All right, I'm curious where graphics cards are right now, actually, because I haven't been shopping for them recently. Okay, that's not horrible. Okay, so if you're willing to go AMD, which AMD has improved a lot. In fact, I would argue the 9070 XT is in a lot of ways better than the 5070 Ti.
Well, and of course, going forward, they're going to be your only option for the next generation of graphics cards.
So you get used to it now, I guess.
Get used to AMD.
Yeah. So these things launched at 600, but now they're only 720 for a 9070 XT. That's not the worst.
Yeah, it's not reasonable.
All right, what about a 5060 Ti or a 5060? Let me see what you can. Okay, hey, you know what? Okay, so a 5060 is not what I would call a good card, but you can get one for $350. And you can get a 5060 Ti 16 gig. Oh, wait, that's out of stock. Okay, well...
5060 is about equivalent to a 4080, right?
No, a 40...
No? Lower?
I would say a 4080 is probably about in the ballpark of a 5070 Ti.
Okay, because I know that right now my only option for upgrade is, there's 2 graphics cards better than mine that exist. They're only from NVIDIA, which means until AMD's next generation of graphics cards, there's not going to be an option for me to upgrade aside from that.
You're on a 4080 Super or a regular 4080?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I'm going to assume it's a Super because you got it late 2024.
It says NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 when I look at my about.
So, okay, so what that tells... So the cards that are faster than yours are a 4090, a 5090, a 5080, and then technically a 4080 Super, though if you were to overclock and fuck around with it a bit, you could probably get your 4080 in the ballpark. So, yeah, like, it's You know, like, yeah, and I'm in the same boat. Like, I have 2 upgrades, a 4090 or a 5090. I have no reason to shop for these. But I do like to keep an eye on the market, because I know I've talked with Em about, you know, hey, she should probably build a computer for some of the stuff she wants to fuck around with. And, yeah, it's a...
And boy, is it a great time for you to do that.
So I legit had a conversation recently where someone asked me about building a computer right now, and I told them you might be better off just getting a really nice laptop.
Yeah, actually, laptop prices are surprisingly good.
They're okay.
In fact, there's been a recent controversy because Apple has like released their first budget laptop in like forever, and
it's good. It's really good. It's a really good laptop.
And manufacturers are freaking out because they're like, yeah, this murders Chromebooks. This Chromebooks are dead in the fucking water.
And it murders lower end Windows laptops. Like I was looking at buying my mom one of these because my mom's been wanting a like normal laptop, but like I didn't want to get her a shitty laptop.
How much is it? It's like $500 or $600.
It's $600, but if you have student pricing, it's $5.
And it performs well on almost everything. You know, it's like, I mean, it's got Mac OS, which sucks, but
I like Mac OS, especially. I like Mac OS, especially considering where Windows 11 has gone, which is
but video games.
Yeah, that's great, but I mean, you're probably not gonna be playing video games on a $500 laptop anyway. So let's be real.
But you could.
You could. I mean, technically, some games do work on Mac OS. WoW works on Mac OS.
I was a gamer for 6 years on a Mac Mini.
Go on.
And you know, it was a nightmare. It was a horrid nightmare.
It
worked.
Yeah, I was about to say you can make it work. Like it's the bit. So I'm gonna be real with you. That's the biggest reason I have not moved to Mac. Is I'm super deep in the Apple ecosystem. You know, like just within arm's reach of me. These,
right?
This.
I have AirTag on my keys, and I have phone.
And then
somewhere I have the headphones, and that's it.
And then I have an iPad. And then I have an iPad. Like and then we have a HomePod in the kitchen. The only thing I literally don't have is a Mac, and that's because I like video games a lot. Like if Apple came out tomorrow and was like, hey, the new MacBook Pro supports. Like we found a Steam level translation layer, a Steam OS like translation layer, and all your Steam games are gonna work fine on Mac. I'd be like, all right, I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to spend the money, but I think I'm gonna get a maxed out Mac now. Because fuck my. Also, I'm very much due to a lot of the decisions they've made and other things. I'm very much fully in the fuck Microsoft forever camp.
Right.
So, you know, little blinded by rage, not gonna lie, but on the other side of that, fuck Microsoft forever and ever and ever. So,
and, you know, I think that's a perfect transitionary point for us to talk about Microsoft.
Yeah, their new CEO. By the way, I looked it up. You can get a pretty, like... It has a 5070 Ti mobile, which is like kind of in between a 5060 Ti and a regular 5070 Ti, the desktop versions. Yeah. 16 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and a nice screen for about $1,800 on a laptop nowadays. And if you're looking, which it's not horrible, it'll get the job done better than most people's computers, and at the current price of desktop parts. Not a bad idea. So,
the whole argument with the Apple thing too has like that manufacturers, specifically Microsoft, has been making is, oh well, there's no customizability. You can't like switch out RAM on like this new Apple PC.
You can't do that on most laptops anymore, motherfucker.
Laptops, no.
You used to be able to, but they wanted to lower manufacturing costs and also make it so you buy a new laptop more often. So no, you can't do that on a fucking Windows laptop most of the time either. Unless you buy a Framework laptop, which I fucking love Framework. They're amazing, but their computers are so fucking insanely expensive that, like, that's not the person who is buying a MacBook Neo. So shut the fuck up with your bullshit, Microsoft. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Microsoft's new CEO, speaking of the next news story, the Xbox CEO, the new Xbox CEO, killed the This is an Xbox campaign because it didn't feel like Xbox. She is leading a brand reset. According to Windows Central, her first act was to kill the campaign. The advertising campaign promoted Xbox's cross-device platform, notably on other companies' products such as Samsung and LG devices. Yeah, it didn't feel like Xbox, a Microsoft spokesperson said. She is personally leading a reset of how we show up as a brand.
Here's a quote from what she said in her commitments in her first statement as Microsoft Gaming CEO last month. She said, "Great games, the return of Xbox, and the future of play. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love."
All right, so one, I really regret not buying a bunch of those This is an Xbox sticker when they had them on their store.
Yeah, really
I really fucking regret not buying. I'm gonna check eBay. Maybe they're on eBay. Because, like, man, just I would love to, like, in a couple of years get back to going to press meetings and just come into a Microsoft meeting with that sticker on a laptop or some shit.
You should put it on your Nintendo Switch.
Whoa.
Yeah, just be sitting in the PAX handheld lounge with that on the back of my Switch.
With a Switch that says "This is an Xbox" on it.
I think this is just such a fucked priorities list. I think that.
I mean, it's a good move to withdraw the campaign. It's a stupid campaign.
It is a stupid campaign. I fully agree with you on that. It's just that, like, of the millions of... First off, I do not feel like... I feel bad for this lady, not because, yeah, partially because a bunch of chuds are going to come at her for stupid reasons, but mainly because this job seems like a fucking suicide mission. Yeah. Okay, like, let's be very goddamn real here. You have a brand where you can't develop hit games to save your life, and when you do, it's either Forza or a remake of a game that's like 1 billion years old. And your hardware is far more expensive than your competitors' hardware, along with just having shitty brand optics across the board. You're increasing prices. You would just increase the price of your one product that people actually like, making it effectively worthless because it was a budget product. Like, Game Pass was a product for budget gamers, so increasing the price was increasingly stupid. And I'm going to be real. I'm not sure if you've kept up with the Xbox Game Pass offerings over the past 3-4 months. It hasn't particularly been great.
They got Disco Elysium now.
They do. Enjoy playing a 6-year-old game that you can often buy for like $10.
Yeah, but do enjoy playing it. It's really good.
It is a great game. It is a fantastic game. But, like,
I know 3 people who are playing it now only because it's on Game Pass.
Which, like, here's the thing though, is like when Game Pass is $30 fucking dollars. Like, $30 is half the price.
You could buy Disco Elysium for that already.
Yeah, hold on. Let me check Disco Elysium price charting.
Probably like $15.
Yeah. Alright, SteamDB price history. At its lowest price, it was $4.
Yep.
So, like, I'm like, okay,
I think I bought it on GOG for like $8.
Okay, so It routinely goes on sale during winter, fall, summer sales, and Next Fest for as low as $4.
Yeah.
So like, oh, we got Disco Elysium. It's 1/5 the cost or 1/6 the cost of our sub if you just wait for a sale though.
Here's what Asher Sharma is doing, okay?
Uh-huh.
Asher Sharma has been sent in to go cut a bunch of stuff and ruin a bunch of people's lives real quick.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then she's going to spend 1 to 5 years probably in this position.
Uh-huh.
And then she's going to have former CEO of Xbox on her resume. And she's going to get paid $1 gajillion by a mid-sized tech company to be the CEO of that. And she's going to rinse and repeat that process of going to mid-sized tech companies, getting paid $1 bajillion to be their CEO, and then switching to another one like every few years.
So
I don't particularly feel bad for her position as being the captain of the sinking ship.
Well, yes, I'm going into this assuming that the intent is to actually do your job and fix things.
No, like the intent is to get AI in there.
All right,
your controller should have Copilot in it.
Where's my gun? So okay, so I looked at the coming soon for the coming soon for Game Pass. This is like embarrassing. They have 4 games. They have 4 games in the coming soon list. This is wildly depressing. One of them is Final Fantasy IV, which routinely goes on sale for $6. One of them is Hades 2, which I believe is $30, but goes on sale for like $22, and will take you long enough to beat where it's better to just buy it and own it. Kiln does not have a release date yet, but that game does look cool, and I think it is a perfect candidate for a Game Pass because it's a party game. So, all you and your friends have the sub, you can just play this sick Tim Schafer party game. I will say Kiln is hilarious to me because I'm like, is this going to be the game that finally kills Tim Schafer? Is this going to be the game that finally...
going to get him.
Well, because, like, he put out Psychonauts 2, which did really well, and it's a great game. And then he put out Keeper last year, which was an awesome game, but basically no one played it. Shame. Great game. If you haven't played Keeper yet, you should. It's about 4 hours long, and it's spectacular. And then he's putting out this new, like, party game about pots. And, by the way, you are definitely not in camera.
She completely walked out.
Oh.
She had something to do, clearly.
Okay. Yeah, so... And then the last game is actually a big title. It's Forza Horizon 6. So, like, in your coming soon section, for the next goddamn, like, 3 months, you have one game that is $70. Like, why would I stay sub to this? What the fuck would I be even thinking? And I'm looking through, like, the current, like, Game Pass, like, you know, all games list, and I'm like, okay, Super Meat Boy 3D is new, but it's not very good. And then
Someone likes it. That's all I know about it.
And then, like, everything else in here is, like, 2 to 3 years old, and you get it on Steam sale for, like, basically a song. You know, like, it's...
Bronson, it all comes full circle. We always return to the origin. All right. The one, the true, the great, the Kinect. That's what this comes back to. Asher Sharma is here to reinvent the Kinect from base principles.
Okay, so you know what? I would be stoked for this if we got a new Dance Central.
That Copilot is going to be in your controller. And Copilot is going to have a camera. And Copilot will actually be able to track your movements so that you can play a game physically. And now all you have to say is, hey, Xbox. And your Copilot will do things on your Xbox.
I just what?
And you'll be able to play Skyrim, and you'll say the shouts out loud, and they'll happen, but via Copilot. And it all comes full circle, and we arrive once more at the Connect, the origin of our kind.
So I'm gonna say this, and this is the serious part of this. If they were to put out a Connect again and put out a new Dance Central that carried over my music from the first 3 or the first 4, so it'd be Dance Central 5. I forgot about the Xbox One version. They carried all of my music over like they always did. I would actually be really fucking stoked. I would be really stoked if they were like, "Hey, we're doing Connect again, and by the way, here's a new Dance Central that carries over all the music, and here's a couple new features." I would be like, "All right, cool. My Xbox is going to get the most use it's gotten in about 4 years." So, all right. So we have our last news story. This is also sad. Deceptively sad, though. It's like a surprise. Konami is increasing its starting salaries in Japan by nearly 30%, increases base pay for the 5th year in a row.
Okay, so
Duncan, why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us what we discovered in the pre-show?
This show, so I looked this up last night in particular because when this was put on the docket, I was like, oh, that sounds like a small number though. Having been a little bit more familiar with Japanese salaries, having looked a lot into moving there, I'm like 310,000 yen sounds like not a lot of money. So the range for a livable wage is often bottomed at 350,000 yen per month, ranging from around 350,000 to like 424, right? That's like your, minimum like livable wage. Because if you translate
350,000, you said?
Yeah, 350,000. Now cost of living in Tokyo is fantastic, right? Cost of living in Japan in general is great. And it's cheaper than almost every city in the US, every major city in the US. I mean, we've talked a lot about how me and Bronson here live in Reno, and it's hundreds of dollars cheaper on almost every metric to live in Japan, right? In Tokyo, which is the most expensive city in their country.
If I had my salary in Tokyo, I would be able to live like a fucking king.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be insane. If I had my salary in Tokyo, I'd be living really well, right? So, they increased their base pay for a college graduate new developer from 240,000 to 310,000, and the conversion rate for what that means is it's about $12.30 an hour for 310,000 yen,
which is like
assuming you're not doing overtime. These are salaried positions, and Japan has some pretty archaic laws about overtime because before overtime pay can be mandatory, you have to work a pretty large amount of overtime for it to be recognized. Let me pull this number up. I had it yesterday. Minimum recognizable overtime. So it's anything exceeding 60 hours is when you actually start earning your overtime pay. So if you're a salaried employee, but you work over 60 hours, they still have to pay you overtime, even though you're salaried, in which you would normally not make overtime because your work isn't tracked that way as salaries, go.
Just odd.
So Konami, a company known for overworking its employees, is almost certainly making them work quite a bit of overtime. And see, that's just this crazy tiny amount of money you're probably getting per hour for your work when working as a new developer at Konami. And not only that, their salary increase at base for all employees, which they do every year, is 5,000 yen a month, which is microscopic. That is a $30 increase per month, about $33. And like, obviously cost of living, like we've said, is much lower in Tokyo, but it is not so much lower that $12 an hour becomes a living wage. Their taxation rate is also higher, right? Like I, for example, am getting taxed at like 7%, but in Japan you're getting taxed at about
you're getting
10.
taxed at like 12%.
Oh yeah,
wait, no. Oh wait, no, effective tax rate. So the first half of your income is 10, the next half is like 12, and then if you were to make a little more, it would go up to 22. Like, that's where I'm at, and it sucks dick.
So the effective tax rate that they're receiving in Japan at this low is actually surprisingly better than what I'm getting. They're getting a 5% effective tax rate is what I calculated from the overall income, which means that the actual take home they're getting is about $11.40 an hour for making like incredible games. You know, we're talking about the people that made Silent Hill F.
Well, that's not them though. That's the thing that I was trying to talk to you in pre-show, where a lot of these games that Konami is putting out right now, like the developer of Silent Hill F is a company called Neo Bards Entertainment. Metal Gear 3 was Virtuous. This new Castlevania they're co-developing with another company. So it's like, I'm like, okay, so are all the actual developers just like the pachinko guys?
I guess it seems like it.
So like,
I mean, they're really only co-developing one of their AAA releases.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting in that regard, but but
they they talk about this as being like a dedication to achieving achieving growth consistently, but I mean, you're paying fucking poverty wages. You're paying fucking poverty wages to everybody coming into your company. You're not
especially, what did we calculate the yearly salary be before tax? Like 24K?
Around 24K.
Yeah, so they are like far and away out of the big Japanese AAA developers. We checked Capcom, Sega, Nintendo, and Namco. They are by far the lowest paying.
Yeah,
like it's not even close.
The roughly $9 an hour that they were just making.
Yep.
Until now, if you were a new dev at Konami, you were making like less than minimum wage here.
So, if you work at Nintendo, which is known to be an amazing place to work, I think last year they were voted second best place to work in Japan. The average person is getting 62 to 65K. In the case of Sega, they are doing
using USD, of course.
Yes. Yes. Sega is doing, hold on, 51 to 59.
That means if you're an entry-level dev going into the games industry and you get an offer from Konami and an offer from Nintendo is offering you triple what Konami is offering you.
Almost. Then you have Capcom, which is offering 53 to 55. And then Namco Bandai, which Namco Bandai has a lot more going on than video games, to be fair. They got some anime stuff and some other things going on. But they're 74 to 75.
Yeah. So it's crazy just how neglected Konami is keeping their video game stuff. Obviously Konami makes $1 shit-zillion off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Every second. And they've got a lot of pachinko machines that they are backing away from because It turns out there's a lot of risks to that they weren't anticipating. But yeah, okay. So I guess a story that's being framed as positive, because I mean, even this article is talking. It's really only giving quotes about Konami being like, "We love our developers. That's why we just wanted to pay them more money." When it's clear that this is actually a case of it is impossible to hire anybody at this wage. And so we needed to increase it by 30% for even a chance to get new employees.
And like, I realize this is not the culture of Japan work, but man, if you were a Japanese dev and you could financially make it happen and like just really desperate, I guess what you could do is go there for like one big project, get it done, and then go dip out to literally anywhere else.
Well, it's a bit harder to do in Japan. Yeah. Quitting is actually a very difficult process in a lot of situations. Even if your company isn't like a black company, as infamously is like difficult to quit from, you actually have like a pretty large series of legal obligations when you quit a company in Japan that prevents you from just dipping out.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is like I heard there are literally people you will hire to quit for you. Which even then though, like fuck it, make it happen, dude. Might as well. You're not.
Yeah, it's very popular to pay a service to quit a job for you, because they'll handle legal liabilities and they'll deal with any harassment stuff. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's actually like a pretty good proposition, most of the time.
Yeah, I think that's like. That's really the only reason you'd go there, unless you just fucking love Silent Hill. Well, no, you wouldn't even be working on any of those projects, because they outsource them. You're not going to work on Silent Hill or Metal Gear, you stupid slut. You're going to go work on this fucking pachinko machine. You know?
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Alright, well, that's the news. We newsed. We newsed real hard.
We newsed.
Yeah.
I know we talk about video games that we have played.
We have.
What do you guys want to talk about first?
Well, I might as well get the easiest one for me out of the way. Fire Red. I was shocked at how into that I've gotten. I like that there, and I said this when I played Scarlet and Violet. Mm-hmm. There is something deeply satisfying about the core gameplay loop of Pokemon. Like
evolving Pokemon is good.
They have a very good core gameplay loop. It's a shame that in modern games the rest of the game is bad, but back then, like as far as like GBA or games go, this is fucking incredible. It's so good. It's like
Fire Red is actually an incredible remake of Red Blue Green. There's there's a lot of interviews that came out at the time where basically they were like they described that like they actually didn't really know what they were doing during Red, Blue, and Green. They had kind of like a very loose idea of balance and of like a satisfying gameplay loop. And the goal with Fire Red and Leaf Green wasn't just to create a faithful remake. It was to create a better game. The game that they would make if they were more experienced devs and if they had more resources, because now, at that time they are more experienced devs and they do have more resources. The leap into Generation 3. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Entire conversation is reminding me, oh yeah, I need to get on my girlfriend's Switch and trade over a Bulbasaur and a Squirtle. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
The leap over to Generation 3 went historically incredibly well for Pokemon. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were very successful games. Even the spin-offs, Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness.
I really like Colosseum. I rented that from the Blockbuster and had a good time with it.
Yeah. And the I mean, it was a very successful period of time for Pokemon, leading into another very successful period of time for Pokemon in Gen 4. And the increased resources that they had from having been, at this point, been successful for a very long time, right? They weren't just this new breakout huge hit. that were making games with a small amount of resources. This is when Pokemon was kind of being recognized by Nintendo as an opportunity and as their biggest IP that they could imagine getting and being like, potentially their biggest cash cow they could ever have. And they were throwing like all the resources they could at Pokemon at the time and really trying to make stuff happen. And Fire Red and Leaf Green, they came into existence because they were like, we need to close the generational gap that existed from 2 to 3, because it was just technologically impossible to get those games to communicate with the later games. It didn't work on a hardware level. And so they really threw everything into it, and that let us get a lot of great projects that people remember fondly to this day for Pokemon. And I think Fire Red and Leaf Green is a massive elevation of those first 3 games.
Yes,
or first 4, because also it includes Yellow.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I think that like I've even been shocked at how good it looks, even though I'm like playing it on a 55-inch television most of the time.
Sprite work.
It does. Pretty. Though I will say, playing it on a 55-inch TV from time to time has been really funny.
Certainly not meant for
it. What are you talking about? You want to see every detail of that sprite. I was like chilling like 5 feet away from this TV with this just fucking mutated back of head Charmander.
Yeah, I can definitely say that having looked at the original the original version, which is available to me. I have a copy of Leaf Green and I have an old Game Boy. Those sprites clearly work with the display like very purposefully in a way that a lot of old games do, where some of them just look better through their original display, even though that original display looks like shit.
Well, it's because they were designing it. It's a big part of why you're designing for specific hardware.
Yeah, you've got this trade-off where some sprites are designed for the hardware and look better on the original hardware, but the game as a whole looks way better in the remake or in the re-release for the Switch, because it's just on a way nicer display. It's on your display.
Yeah, the colors pop so good on my goddamn TV. Like, playing this on an OLED, oh my god, dude. The color! I've been really enjoying it. I will say the number one thing I do miss is I do love the Gen 1 Pokemon art. It is still my favorite, like, fat Pikachu and fucked up looking Charmeleon and shit. I'm a really big...
Some of those sprites are fucking crazy, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But I am such a homer for the Gen 1 Pokemon art. It is just, like, so... It's, like, just a little unnerving and uncomfortable. It's just, like, yeah. Like,
for me, Leaf Green was my Gen 1. It was the first Pokemon game I ever played. At least that I have memory of. Apparently, before being 4 years old and being capable of creating long-term memory, I played the actual Gen 1 games on a Game Boy Color that my parents had. But the only one I actually remember playing is Leaf Green. And so for me, that's as nostalgic as it gets. Gen 3 is where it's at.
That makes sense. Gen 3 was like my fall off point. Like, I finished Ruby, I had a good time with it, and then I just fell off and fucked off to go play other games and just kind of forget about Pokemon for a while. And like I entirely skipped Gen 4. I rented not Heart Gold, Soul Silver, had a great time with it, returned it to GameFly. And then I like came back for Gen 5 and I fucking hated it. I thought the Pokemon looked stupid. I didn't like the zone. I thought it kind of was ugly at points. And then I came back again for Gen 6 and loved it. And I love Gen 6. I stand by X and Y are 2 of the best Pokemon games. And since, I have hated almost every release since in the mainline games.
Yeah. Another big thing I have to praise about Fire Red and Leaf Green's re-releases here is the addition of the event tickets.
Yes, that was a smart move. I thought that was a cool thing.
Being able to catch Deoxys, Ho-Oh, and Lugia in your Gen 3 games is super nice.
Yeah, someone made a like color version of all the Gen 1 sprites on Reddit, and like, dude, I love how uncomfortable some of these look. It's so good. Like, Grimer looks fucking... Or not Grimer. Gengar looks terrifying in this.
You can shiny hunt in Gen 1. It's just psychopathic, but you can do it.
Good to know.
Even though shinies don't exist. But what you can do is that the shininess of a Pokemon is determined by its DVs is what they were called back then. And if it has a specific DV combination, when transferred up to Gen 2, it will be shiny in Gen 2 and then every game going forward.
Okay. Yeah, I love how much more of a mouse Pikachu, Raichu, Sandshrew, and Sandslash look like. Yeah. That's fantastic. Just, man, when they made Pikachu skinny, it was a mistake. It was a fucking mistake.
You know what I'll say has been fun for me about Leaf Green is that I am way more capable of engaging with glitches than I was when I first played Leaf Green as a child.
All right.
So, you know, I for example, in my badge quest, I get to Nugget Bridge, and of course I don't beat Nugget Bridge. I do the Nugget trick where you beat every trainer on Nugget Bridge except the last guy, and then you go up with the lowest level Pokemon you can get, and you let him kill it because he gives you a nugget before the battle starts. And then if you lose, he gives you a nugget every time you walk up to him. So long as you just never beat him. So I immediately get like $2 million. Then I can sell it on City. And I go to the department store. I buy a bunch of mail. I go get the trade Farfetch'd, and I get the trade Mr. Mime. And if you get both of those, you can set up a thing with a specific double battle in a specific location, as long as you have an Oran Berry and there's one other item. It's an Oran Berry and I think it's some kind of flute. I can't recall. Along with mail. You have to get mail from the department store. And then you can set up an arbitrary code execution glitch where you can just duplicate any item. And so, you know, I went and I gave myself like 200 Master Balls because I gotta
do that. Of course, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And it's great. It's great. I love being ridiculously overpowered in a Pokemon game.
Well, it's not like it's hard. Like, that's actually one thing I've realized about Gen 1 is I'm like, oh, if you know anything about Pokemon, this is like the easiest game in the world. Like, I have memories of like going to Brock with like my current team and getting my shit rocked. And then that did not happen.
If you're looking for a more interesting experience for the game, the general consensus about how these games should be approached for adult players is don't level your Pokemon up beyond the highest level of the gym leader's Pokemon.
Oh, I was 4 levels under. Butterfree was 10. Onyx was 14. And still, even then, was just like, dude. Because what I did is I threw Pikachu. I threw Pikachu out as a sacrifice to put static on the Pokemon. And then Butterfree just kicked the shit out of them.
Interactions like that are fun. Interactions like that are it's a shame because Pokemon is so easy that the substance to it can be completely missed by the fact that if you just get one Pokemon and hit A the entire game, you will win.
So, but that's been my Fire Red experience. I've been enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. I talked about Marathon earlier. This is the first time I've ever liked an interaction shooter because they trimmed away all the bullshit. I also am just not afraid of losing my stuff because they've said that they're going to do seasonal resets, so everything goes away next season anyway. So I'm going to lose anyway. So fuck it. Ball out. I'm playing with house money. Come get these good-ass guns and all my bags and shit off of me, losers. And if I'm not in the mood to lose my shit or I just want to play more casual, they have what are called sponsored loadouts, where you just get, like, it's super bare bones. It's like 2 healing items, a gun, and a prayer. But it still makes it so you can play and have fun and go collect shit if you want a lower stress, lower stakes thing. So yeah, I've been having fun with it. I think the shooting feels great. The art and story stuff that they're doing is really interesting and cool looking. I think that it's it doesn't eat a bunch of time like a lot of extraction shooters do. I think it solves most of my problems with the genre, and they did a great job with it. I am wildly impressed by Bungie on what they've managed to do in 9 months, because 9 months ago this game looked like a giant piece of shit. So, yep, there's that. My most played game was WoW. We're in the middle of the season. Couple big updates on where this is at currently. I had a passing in my family, and as such, I took until after the funeral off, so I'm off work till Wednesday, and I've been very sad. The joke I've said, right now I'm rope and stool Bronson. Disassociating into World of Warcraft has been a great coping tool. And it's, so like I've been handling business as next of kin and then just playing WoW. This is the easiest WoW's endgame has been since probably Mists of Pandaria. Because they did a big thing where they purged most combat add-ons. Like they got rid of like you were not allowed to use combat mods.
They needed to do.
Which, in doing that, they wanted to make the game a lot easier, because they're like, well, people aren't going to have these tools anymore to deal with shit, which I think was a smart move. It was a very smart move. They made a great decision in doing that. However, this has been by far if you are a good, experienced player, losing your add-ons is more of an annoyance than an actual, like, it plays the game for you thing. In fact, a lot of people are like, my entire guild is super experienced. We get AOTC every season. Most of us get KSH, if not KSL, every season. And it has been far and away the easiest season yet. I have played this super hardcore, and I already have KSH. I got KSH in the first 3 days, which is like one of the hardcore dungeon achievements. I'm almost to KSL, and then I got KSM on another character.
Damn.
Like
so you're
it
just
is
breezing through.
Yes, and even in raid, our guild is very good. We're not like fucking top on our realm. I think last I checked, we're like rank like 30. To be fair, we're on a really, really, really populated server. We're like rank 30. And we are 6 of 9 heroic in the raid. And mind you, that's in week 2.
That is to say you've defeated 6 of 9 encounters.
Yes. And mind you, heroic raid right now, heroic raid normally doesn't go that fast. Like, usually you'd probably be 6 of 9 on a week 4 or 5. But like at the beginning of week 2, we hit 6 of 9. Like last week, we progged through 4 bosses.
Yeah. It sounds pretty quick.
Yes. Like, normally, I'm like, we'll be done in about 8 weeks. It might be 5 to 6. Depending on how the last 3 bosses here go. The last 3 bosses, especially the 7th and the 9th, are a lot more complicated. but like we're just breezing through, and because gear is so much easier to get currently, because of how much easier dungeons are and the Mythic Plus system is. Yeah, because like so the way they released the raid is they released the first 2 raids 2 weeks ago on normal and heroic. Then then the next week Mythic raid came out for those first 2 raids. And then this past Tuesday they put out the last raid, which is 2 bosses on normal, heroic, and mythic. We completely buzzsawed that on normal. We beat the last boss on normal without seeing its last phase because we were doing so much damage.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, like it seems like that in fear of players being screwed by not having add-ons and being super dependent on add-ons,
toned it way down.
They toned it way too far the other direction, I think. I'm not necessarily opposed to this because it has been nice to be able to, like, especially in the sense of dungeons, because dungeons have an infinite difficulty scaling with Mythic Plus. It's like, you can... there is no wall with Mythic Plus besides your gear and how good you are.
Here's the thing. Do you think it's a case of it's just easier like obviously they're going to make it easier because of a lack of add-ons, right? But
yep.
Do you think it's also a case of that it's maybe as easy as it would be if add-ons still existed and it was made as hard as it usually is? Like it might be equivalent to the prior, but they you have more people that are more skilled at it on account of the people that played without excessively relying on add-ons already, being way better positioned to be good now, having done so prior. Because if you were doing all right in a prior expansion where people were heavily reliant on add-ons and you weren't as reliant on add-ons as them, when they remove add-ons, if it's about equivalent in difficulty, you're actually way better than you were.
See, I don't think it's equivalent difficulty because there's just not as much mechanic density in trash or in bosses. Like, it's...
So you're kind of dealing with both problems, because both the people who would now be better at the game because they already weren't relying on add-ons are also getting a lower mechanic density, and like it's easier for everybody in the first place. So you're getting kind of 2 mechanisms of increased skill from the player base, in that it's a lower demand of skill expression, and a lot of people have suddenly developed a higher capacity for skill expression.
And also, on top of all that, because it's in generally easier as well, that means it's easier to get gear, making the harder content even easier. So, like, right now, I am capped on crests and like 4 pieces away from having full bis. Like, and then over the next couple weeks, I'll get crest to upgrade all that to max and be effectively done gearing, unless I really want to be a psycho about it. And I think that, like, all of that's... So, you have, like, top performers in our guild who are, like, gearing like psychos because it's super easy to get heroic gear now. Combined with, you know, getting myth in your vault start as of 2 weeks ago, combined with, like, there's just a lot of layers to that. And yeah, there's just less mechanic density. And then I have always been someone, the add-ons did not play the game for you. They helped you figure out mechanics, but now that those mechanics are generally a lot easier to figure out, I do think the lack of add-ons made the first 2 weeks of the expansion more interesting as people were trying to puzzle out, like, boss fights. But, you know, now that the boss fights are puzzled out and you don't have the add-ons, it's like, oh, most of these bosses are like 2 to 3 mechanics. I think that the only bosses that aren't are, like I said, the 7th boss and the 9th boss of the raid.
You know, this makes me feel like this is maybe a bit of a bit less related than it should be, but it makes me think, right? A big part of the fun of raids is puzzling stuff out. I want to drop you and couple other people into a Destiny 2 raid where you just have never done it and you're not allowed to look up the mechanics. Like if I drop you into the witness and I just say figure it out, because that's what I did when I first went into it. I just figured it out, right? It's so fun to just figure out.
So I have done that in a Destiny raid. It was way back in the day with Vault of Glass, but yeah, I had a great time. Like
as I always talk about, was one of the first people ever to figure out Vault of Glass. And
that's
Vault
okay.
of Glass was so much easier to figure out than a modern Destiny 2 raid.
Oh, I bet.
They are insane right now.
Well, it's like it's the thing that I always talk about with like retail WoW. Like retail WoW, even in this more simplistic form, is so much more violently complicated than like classic. Especially sorry,
compare fucking Encounter 4 of the Witnesses raid to anything in Vault of Glass. Encounter 4, I was in that room trying to figure that fucking thing out for 18 hours. It was ridiculous.
and you know, like, I think WoW is I'll say this, like, I think that is normal for an MMO. I think that pretty much
as they progress, they get way more complicated.
They get way more difficult, more complicated, especially if they last long enough. Like the mechanic density of, you know, I feel like WoW's mechanic density kind of flatlined around Legion, especially after the first Legion raid was a little too easy. But like, you go look at like vanilla, right? And you watch vanilla raid footage, and then you watch like even, you know, heroic of the second boss.
Yeah, you watch vanilla raid footage and it's like, don't stand in the red spot.
Yeah, it's
dangerous.
Yeah, it's like,
make sure to hit this enemy before he walks to the other side.
Right, like it's just like, and then the rotations are like 2 buttons, 3 buttons. It's like it's comically slow. It is like, it is so funny to me when you have people talk about how hard vanilla was, when I'm like, it wasn't hard, it was just time consuming.
Make sure your tanks hit their buttons before this timer goes down.
You know, like make sure that your tanks have 3 stacks or 2 stacks asunder before you start attacking. You know, like it's not this hard thing. The thing about Classic that I always tell people is, it's like, it's not a hard game, it's just a time-consuming game. And it's a game I love. It's very chill, you can have a great time with your friends. Like, playing vanilla is one of the best experiences I think anyone could have playing a video game.
Right.
However, like, the Classic, like, I have a friend who's like this. He's total Classic Andy. Like, dude is totally just classicked up, refuses to go to retail, and that's, you know, that's his right.
As you know.
Yes. But like, to be like, oh, it's so much harder. I'm like, dude, no, it's not. It's like, yeah, look how much time this. Yeah, it took time. It doesn't mean it's like the execution is difficult, though. It doesn't mean like I'm like, oh, you know, I don't, you know, you know, I think about like my like, okay, so one of the classes I played in vanilla was Mage. Your rotation is 2 buttons. Realistically, most of the time in raid, in single target, it's 1 button. And
that's too complicated. What if I press the other button before the other button?
Then you get a very, very minor DPS loss. Meanwhile,
I think a minor DPS loss, and a guy in your guild messages you and tells you to kill yourself.
That's true. And he's also probably a neo-Nazi, so, you know. Yeah. No, that's actually one of the things that, like, my guild constantly makes fun of with Classic players, is like the amount of weird racism in that community. You know, it's just...
I did a story once where Chris was in Classic making a bunch of money because he was offering like these teleporting services.
Yeah,
and he
I have
made
done that.
he had
I
like
played
3
mage.
accounts doing it, and he on like the third one he said, America teleports, the free true American experience in teleports, and he just like played into a bunch of conservative stereotyping, made way more money on that account.
Bro, okay, so they're going to be doing Classic Plus later this year. So it's like vanilla, but with new raids, new dungeons, some extra stuff. And I'm like, all right, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make a mage, and there we go.
MAGA teleports. We get you to the other side without immigrants.
Yeah, no, it's.
Well, I'm glad that WoW has been a good time for you.
Yeah, no, I've had a good time with it. I actually am hoping we clear the raid soon though, because I'm starting to peter out. This next week I'm gonna try real hard to knock out KSL, which is the last thing for dungeons I need, and then at that point I'll probably just be hanging with friends and raid logging. Like
RuneScape's gearing up to release its new raid.
To Duncan, and it's not happening, brother.
And they're already here's the thing, they're already out of ideas. All right, they made their first raid is like, it's a cave, it's got dragons in it, it's got weird theming, and then its second raid, vampire shit, right? Third raid,
damn,
all right, desert mummies. Fourth raid, they're already back to vampires.
Let's see.
They're out of new ideas and they're back to vampires.
Okay, so hold on. I'll just do vanilla. First raid, fire elementals and earth elementals. Yep. Second raid, dragons. Third raid, dragon, singular.
Dragon.
Then blood god and blood trolls. Let's see. Then
I vaguely remember. I've done every raid through Warlords of Draenor, so I vaguely remember this.
Bug men and bug god and old god.
I remember that one was buggy.
In
both senses.
Yes, it was. And then this one was not was taken away and then re-added in a new expansion. Zombies and zombie-like things, and that was vanilla. That was vanilla. As they so, and then the next expansion was like demons and fish people for most of the enemies.
But I recall going through all the WoW raids and it being usually pretty different every time.
Like environmentally, yes.
Environmentally and themes wise. RuneScape's next raid, Blood Moon, is clearly going to be the same as the second raid in like almost every way. It's literally in the storyline, a continuation of the storyline the second raid comes from.
I think part of the reason WoWs are so different is like for such a long time they were like the highlight feature. In fact, they kind of still are. And then also that is where a lot of the storytelling takes place.
You've got me thinking, you know who wasn't actually very creative though is fucking Destiny, because they only have 3 coats of paint or 4 coats of paint that they can possibly put raids in. It's just which enemy are you fighting? Like that's
Vex,
there's 4
Taken,
enemies.
Hive, and
well, Taken was actually kind of unique because they introduced Taken for that raid and for that expansion. But Taken is a cop-out. Taken is a cop-out because it's just a mishmash of everybody.
Yeah, but it's a cool mishmash of everybody.
It is a cool mishmash.
I like the Taken. Shut up.
They did their Vex, and then they did their Hive, and then they did their Fallen, and then the Fallen wasn't even really a raid.
Man, it's such a shame. I hate every other part of Destiny because I would play the fuck out of those raids.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
It's like, they need it. It's very apparent playing Destiny. They took a lot of lessons from World of Warcraft and Diablo, but I feel like they took all the wrong lessons. Like, if they made Destiny gearing as, like, simple as a new WoW expansion, holy shit, I would play so much Destiny. Like, if it was just, here's new dungeons, run new dungeons to do new raid, and get gear and build for new raid. Cool,
no, it's actually, you need to own the second expansion, and then go back and do stuff for that to get points to do this, to get this, to get that, and then you'll have this exotic because you'll use your spoils of conquest on it, and then that spoiler you'll get anarchy, and that'll be meta because it does a good dot.
What is?
And there's no other way to get it. There's no other way to get it, and there never will be.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up to see if I've missed anything in Destiny besides the newest expansion.
Yeah, I played the most recent expansion. I actually never got to do the raid just because I didn't have enough people playing to do it. And it also kind of sucked. It was a Vex raid, and every boss is just a big DPS check. It's really like not much puzzle.
Which, you know, sometimes that's fun. I had to, you know, WoW's bosses change really hardcore from boss to boss on whether it's puzzle or DPS check.
It was literally you go into a central room, fight a boss, and then there's 3 paths, and you fight each boss, and then you can fight the final boss.
So, all right, so yeah, it looks like I missed Edge of Fate. And then I missed this like mini expansion that's Star Wars.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah. So they do mini expansions 3 times usually before they do a full proper expansion. And you know, those are each season, and they always come out with a dungeon, which is like a 3-player.
Yeah. I've done the dungeons. I love the dungeons.
And the Star Wars expansion was a one with a dungeon, and you go and you fight a guy. And I mean, it's Star Wars. You give lightsabers. The lightsabers are unreasonably busted, and apparently completely fucked the sandbox of the game.
Okay, so I'm looking at this footage, and it just looks like normal Destiny, which that's cool. But then I saw in the screenshots the X-wing ship customization, and boy howdy, did that make my brain go, maybe I should start playing Destiny for a brief second.
My Titan can be a stormtrooper?
That part I don't care about. Fuck stormtroopers.
But it looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, Titan gets fucked. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, no, they use...
I think the Warlock's got Kylo Ren, so
which, you know, that's cool. That actually is sick. It's not as sick, but it's sick.
They should have gotten Darth Vader. They should have gotten Darth Vader. Is what they should have got.
I think they should have got Palpatine. So I mean, that's you know.
I mean, the Hunters shouldn't get Darth Vader.
I mean, you're correct. What
the
did
Hunters
the Hunters
shouldn't get anything? They are too well fed. The Hunters.
It in WoW we have this. It's true in Destiny as well. You know which class is the developers' favorites.
Yeah, they win every fucking Guardian games. We need to feed Hunters less.
But yeah, I look at this and I'm like, dude, I would be paying $80 to get Renegade and Edge of Fate, which gross. Super gross there.
Recently, they had everything but Renegade and Age of Fate on sale for like $10. Which is normally $300.
Okay, Bungie, here's what you're gonna do. You're going to stop. You're going to just make Destiny 3. Or alternatively, what you could do, hear me out on this. You go and you take Destiny, you go ahead and you take Destiny 2 and you put out content once a month and you just charge $15 a month. I don't know, man. Like, just this is fucking stupid. Where we're at is stupid.
We're pretty stupid.
It's just, I don't...
Would you like to hear about my adventures of my game that I have played?
Sure, Blade and Sorcery, right?
Blade and Sorcery. I've played the full release version of Blade and Sorcery. I was inspired when we talked about it on the podcast a month ago. And I went, I should boot that up. I should boot that up and see what the actual full release version of the game was, because the version of Blade and Sorcery I've been crazy about for years is it's the pre-release. There's only a sandbox fight guys in an arena mode, right?
All right.
But they've since released a whole game. Like there's a gameplay loop, there's leveling, or there's kind of leveling. So what it is that it's a separate mode called Crystal Hunt, where you get randomly generated dungeons that you have to go through, and you collect these crystals, right? And you make a character. You've got no abilities to start out with, and you get these crystals that are scattered about these dungeons. And usually there's always a chest at the end with a special, like, ooh, there's definitely a crystal here thing. And there's a bunch of enemies throughout, and you just you progress, very dungeon crawl-esque, but you've got this just incredible physics-based combat engine that is like, there's no equivalent that exists that I could compare it to. There's no the only other game with a similar combat engine is Boneworks, and I think Boneworks is much worse because it's mostly based around gunplay. So for melee combat, this is the best VR game that's ever been released for it, I think. And you can feel a weight to your weapons, which is really hard to emulate in VR, right? But there's sort of like there's this kind of resistance where it doesn't quite follow what your hands are doing, that you can kind of tell how heavy things are, and you have to kind of adjust your grip.
For everyone who doesn't know, Blade and Sorcery is a VR game.
Yes, it's a VR game. And the Crystal Hunt game mode is letting you really take advantage of a lot of the systems they had built in that didn't have any use in the sandbox. Like you can stealth, you have to get down and crouch in real life and slowly walk up to the guys, and you can you can do these stealth assassinations. And there's great stuff like so at the end of every Dalgarian rune, because the gameplay loop here is that you get a couple of dungeons randomly that you can go through that'll have map pieces at the end of them that will let you do one big dungeon that is an ancient ruin that has a boss fight at the end with a giant golem. And the golem fight is fucking awesome. It is very Shadow of the Colossus feeling.
Oh wait, do you climb it?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that sounds sick. It does also sound like a motion sickness nightmare, but
it's such a motion sickness nightmare. But so what it is that there's these crystals like around the room that you have to do like basically physical obstacles to get to, right? So it'll be like blasting a shield onto the golem, which has little spots all over its body that has crystals on it that you have to break to get to do damage to it. And the crystals will be shielding those, so you have to go, I have to go over here and I have to swing on a chandelier to like get across a gap and then go to this thing and then break the crystal, and that'll lower the shield on it, and then it'll like put it in a down state, and then I have to climb its body to get up to the crystal, break the crystal, and then repeat that with another thing where I have to climb a ladder or do this or that. And it's a really fun experience. And then you get a crystal from the head of the golem, and you take it into this room that has this altar, and you do this. You put it in this altar, and you're able to select what kind of crystal it becomes, which is one of, I believe, 5 categories. There's 3 magics, and then there's mind and body. So there's gravity, lightning, fire, mind, and body. And they will unlock a sort of level progression for that category that you have unlocked that crystal with, where when you go back to your home, you have an altar there that you can spend crystals that you've gathered through these dungeons to unlock perks and abilities that that increase your kit as you get more of these crystals. And then each of those big crystals that you get also have 3 versions that unlock even more perks as you progress them. And this eventually gets to the point where you're doing just insane shit. You're like, telekinetically grabbing people by their throats and like flinging them into one another. You're creating fire tornadoes and shit. You're doing, your magic becomes crazy if you get through the entire leveling curve. And the magic feels so good. There's a phenomenon with Skyrim VR that I found in that magic in Skyrim VR, magic is the most fun way to play the game by far. It's just incomparable, right? There's something about just wielding a spell in your hands and going and shooting lightning out. This just feels amazing.
I'm a big proponent of playing wizards in any game, so I agree. Yes.
Right. And Blade and Sorcery, it has its fire spell is great, right? It's a fireball you throw out and that you control with your hand as it travels. Right? And this leads to like this really cool like firebending feel, like Avatar, where you can miss the fireball, so you go Flua, and then the fireball, but you miss, but you then do this like fucking Tai Chi bend backwards to guide the fireball back around to hit the guy in the back. And it's really hard to execute, but once you get good at it, you get these really satisfying moments. And there was this great thing where I had unlocked the fire magic, right? And then I go into this area and a fire mage enemy appears and he shoots a fireball at me and I realize I can telekinetically grab his fireball and stop it, take it over and throw it back at him. And so it's just this fucking incredible moment where I'm like, whoosh, and I grab it. And it does this little animation where it the fireball like peters out, but then reignites with your own fire. And I'm like, oh, that's so sick. And all of that, and then you can do this thing where you can use a spell in one hand and enchant your weapon with the spell. And I unlocked this like Naginata, like polearm sword thing. And the feeling of just making it a whole fire weapon so it blasts through armor and just beheading people. It's so satisfying.
All right. You've sold me. I'm not gonna play it until I get a VR headset that I don't fucking hate with a passion.
Yeah, but you got to give it a shot.
Yeah, it's on my. I'll put it on my wish list. This sounds fucking cool. It's just that I'm waiting for the frame to be out because the Quest.
However, 2... I do have a major criticism, right? So I say all of that, but this game is unfortunately definitely a sort of unfinished, it didn't have the resources to be what it could be game.
Oh, so it's a VR game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 100%.
So it's a VR game.
It's the classic woe of a VR game where it has this incredible, super satisfying skeleton, but the dungeons are incredibly repetitive. And you have to do a lot of them to be able to progress your abilities.
It's unfortunate because yeah, man, I really fucking want that I really want VR to have a place, but it's looking more and more like that shit is gonna die.
Yeah.
They
have that one incredible boss fight, but they only have that one incredible boss fight. There is no other bosses. So every time that you do your whole long gameplay loop to get to the ruin and fight the big boss to unlock the upgrade, it's the same boss.
It's
now they do have one thing. As the game progresses and as you get more powerful, the boss unlocks more stuff to its kit. Right? It gets more moves, which is kind of nice, but it's not nearly as nice as having new bosses would be and having new environments. There's basically only 3 kinds of dungeons, and they feel the same every time you do them. In fact, it's clearly like a tile set sort of generation where like they've got a really similar way that it can be generated every time, and it usually ends up not that different. But you know, I had this great moment where like the third time I'm fighting that boss, all of a sudden he fucking charges up, puts his hands together, slams them to the ground, and then starts firing like a giant laser beam at me. And then I realize that I have a large enough weapon that if I angle it just right, I can block and deflect the laser beam. And so he charges up this giant laser, and then I pull out my sword, and you can see it like angling off and firing in the other direction. I'm like, oh god, that's so sick.
There's this level to so many VR games, and this definitely feels like this in the category of like, this is really cool, but we don't have the venture capital money to take advantage of this. So we're going to make what we can, and hopefully we get money to make a sequel. But because nobody believes in VR anymore, good luck, everyone.
I mean, it's a very tiny dev team that is clearly only funded by, like, you know, crowdfunded backing. They had really, really successful initial releases, which means, you know, they didn't need any more of that going forward, and they've been able to release more content for it. But the Steam clearly isn't there to make like a full big multifaceted game out of this, and it sucks because if a big company picked up this engine and this concept and they really made a game out of this, I mean, Half-Life Alyx kind of is this, right? Like,
yeah, like
it's a functional, good feeling physics engine. It's a shooting based game. And and there's no melee equivalent to Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, so like here is my like stance on VR. If someone like wanted me to be like, showcase VR for me, sell me on VR, here are the games I would like run through. It would be Half-Life Alyx, Gran Turismo 7, Beat Saber, Star Wars Squadrons, and then like maybe Boneworks. But now I'm hearing this maybe. Like that,
I think this is much better than Boneworks.
Okay, so then yeah, probably this. But like, it's the broader issue with VR though, that it's just like, dude, I think that this is just a hard sell for so many people, and it sucks because I think you could do a lot of cool shit with it. I think that instead it's mostly going to be similar to a racing wheel where people like Anthony get really into it. And then no one else cares, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. There's a select group of people that have played Blades and Sorcery so much that they're doing this unreal level of skill expression. I mean, there's compilation videos out there of people doing just like insane, mega accurate bullshit in Blade and Sorcery, right? Like it's a whole thing. But that's like really, that's the peak of its level of engagement. That's all it can actually go to, is you personally developing a niche useless skill in being really, really good at the game.
Yeah, I you know, and I don't know. It's just, and to be fair, that's getting good at any video game. Like,
yeah, it's just the real tactile nature of it makes you have like, there's such a ceiling for skill expression.
Yeah, and I think you know, I'm a big fan of that in games. But
there's just no demand for it in the game at all. That game's actually very easy. I mean, well, let's take that back, because I got put in this one mission that was just fucking hard, because they just keep coming at you. But if you want, there's ways to cheese like everything. Right, like,
well, I mean, that's
the AI can't actually fully account for how wildly complex the full range of motion a human being has can be. And you can do things like laying on the ground and shooting fireballs, and they're like, well, they don't know how to stab you on the ground.
Okay, well, that's pretty sick. You sold me on it, man. You know, we need to open a game store and just have you telling people about video games. I feel like you would do a good job.
I got a lot of things I can tell people
about. Anyway, Emily, we already talked about this a couple weeks ago at release, but I'd love to hear your take on it. I know you've been kind of quiet this week, first week back.
Polka
Pia.
It's incredible, right?
It is. I haven't done much on like the whole questing side of things. I've just been exploring. I've almost explored the entire map.
Damn.
In a week.
That's crazy. I keep seeing Penny Arcade put out comics that make me laugh and want to play it. It's in the category of video. So early in the month, I bought 2 games. I bought this and Marathon, and I've just like because WoW consumed my life, and I'm finally out of the WoW cage for the most part. Like I'm at the part of the season where like, it's gonna be a long burn. I can take my time now. I don't need to rush. I'm finally getting out to playing other games, so like Pacopia is on my list. And like what finally sold me on playing that game is when multiple people I know were like, "Hey, you like Viva Pinata, right? This is as close as you're getting."
Yeah, it is as close as you're getting.
I was gonna say the way that I've described it is like the cozy gaming of Animal Crossing, the building of Minecraft, and Pokemon form.
Yeah. So this was a friend's description of it recently. I found the museum in Pocopia. The game isn't being that it's just Animal Crossing and Minecraft allegations with a hint of Stardew Valley, I think. And then I'm like, and Viva Pinata. Don't forget Viva Pinata.
And Viva Pinata.
I'm like, man, you want to talk about my crusade to like get people to play fucking Viva Pinata? If you have any Xbox released from the 360 to now, go play the second fucking Viva Pinata. It's so good. Please. I'm begging you. I just want
the thing about love of all that is holy.
The thing about that game that the thing that pisses me off about Viva Pinata is like if that game came out like a decade later, it would be the biggest fucking game in the world. It'd be so goddamn huge. It is such in the vein of Stardew Valley and all those other, Sunhaven and shit. And like it would be a Slime Rancher. It'd be a mega hit. But because it came out, those games came out in 06 and 08 during the peak of the 360 years and that kind of bullshit. It's no, I get to suffer. I get to sit here and rot.
Em, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been exploring your Drifloon Dream Islands consistently?
No. I only just discovered Drifloon.
Oh, okay. So you should make sure if you have any Pokemon dolls, right? Because you can get the Eevee.
I do have an Eevee in my collection right now.
Yeah, and then the Clefairy doll is also pretty easy to get. If you're just walking around in the other 2 areas.
Yeah.
I think the Pikachu is on the, or it might be the Clefairy, but it's on the beach area, that where like Meowth's at and stuff. And then in the rocky one is where you get the other doll. I don't want to spoil what you can find there, but I'm definitely going to recommend you go as frequent. You can go once a day to these islands, and you should definitely go every day and search thoroughly in the caves and such.
Okay, I will definitely keep that in mind.
It's also just good for your island in general to do it because it's resources that like respawn there because you're generating a new island that you can then take back, including stuff like doors and little statues and stained glass windows that are like pretty hard to get a hold of normally, but there's a bunch of them over there.
Okay.
Yeah,
that game's amazing.
It's really fun. I've been like winding down and playing Pocopia every so often. I'm like, yeah.
It's by all accounts Dragon Quest Builders 3 also, but nobody knows what Dragon Quest Builders is like.
I know what that game is.
Plays it.
I know what it is. I just, like you said, I never played it, so you are right on half of that.
Is that it's also kind of hard to know what it is because they are like super strict on anyone playing or streaming it on like the internet.
Weird.
For some reason. They quite infamously were like, if you do a let's play or a stream of this game, we'll take you the fuck down.
All right. Weird, but okay.
Apparently has something to do with the Dragon Quest rights holders. They've always kind of been like that. I think it's particularly the music.
Okay.
Infamously, the composer for Dragon Quest is a giga racist, and he has actively blocked the release of certain versions of his games abroad, certain versions of Dragon Quest games abroad with his music in them.
Huh.
It was a big problem for Dragon Quest XI, where his composition was preventing, like his composition was like not allowed to be released in the West because he had the right to prevent people from doing that, and he made it so that there was like a huge delay in a release of the fully composed, symphonic version of the soundtrack in the West. Which is why the deluxe edition on Switch was a big deal when it came out, because they were able to finally get it over.
Interesting.
Okay, well. Yeah. That game is another one that's on my list. I'm looking forward.
I'm sure you'll love it. It's a clear. You're such a mark for them.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to giving that game a shot and letting
when we all went to the Nintendo store, you were like, all right, let me go look at the Animal Crossing stuff, like right away.
Yeah. It's super funny because like everybody who knows my general preferences would not assume I like Animal Crossing. But I do. I really do. I think it's the OCD. I think it is I think like if you want to talk about like I'm best guessing the reason that I like Animal Crossing so much and Harvest Moon is just my raging OCD.
I will say I think Pokopia has a little bit of OCD nightmare in it. Where I went into that game and I wanted to water everything right away. I wanted to water everything right away, and you need to not do that.
Why?
Because the main quest is the water everything quest.
Yeah.
Ew.
It's the do this to water everything. And you're a bit of a ways away from that, and my constant temptation was I need to water this whole island, and it is an unfathomable amount of work to do that. It's fucking huge.
Okay. Speaking of other games that have come out recently, man, it has been a crazy March. That God of War Metro. Sorry, I might as well do 3 weeks worth of updates for major releases. That God of War Metroidvania. Yeah, it's not very good. It's not very good. It's man, let me tell you, that was $30 not well spent. And then that Scott Pilgrim game is cool. I've only done the first 2 levels, but the soundtrack is amazing and the game looks beautiful. I cannot tell you how good of a beat 'em up it is because I'm not very far. But as far as if you want to beat 'em up that looks visually amazing with a soundtrack I've had on in the background nonstop, Scott Pilgrim EX goes pretty hard. Sorry, what?
I said Pot Skilgrim.
Yes, Pot Skilgrim. Exactly. Yeah, so sorry, I forgot about that. It's been 3 weeks. Let us shake some rust off.
It has been 3 weeks. We've been a little busy.
A bit busy, sad. It's a lot going on. Anyway, okay, so I think that's pretty much everything we've been playing. Everyone will be back next week. Anthony and I are trying to figure out this video we're collabing together, but it's being harder than expected. But that'll be cool when we get around to it. And then as for the Duncan video, know what's going on there, and we're still working on stuff, don't worry. Just kind of beginning of the year had some shit going on personally. So
yeah, I mean, I know going forward I'm still very busy. So it's great.
Yeah, I'm going to be very busy until summer, is what it's looking like. But once summer happens, I will be through the worst of it, and I'm kind of just adjusting to being back in an office. But that's its own hell.
I'm for sure going to be busy for at least the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so. All right, well, anyway, everybody, we will be back next Sunday. We love you. Bye, you're beautiful people, and keep listening.
Bye.